broke the ground up too much, as Chris Gillen mentioned.
I'm going to go with the home team. I think last week was a big win for them. We'll spark them up. They'll just be a bit harder around the footy.
All right, so let's get underway. Armstrong Western and Sullivan with the Will variety. Armstrong Western won it down, and then they're going to work it off the defensive side of the square here. Hoppers crossing. The hair pass came from Liam McMahon. Got it back towards Palmer. Flicks it through the middle towards Chase Guy in the long sleeve. Goes backwards to Barbieri. He puts the Warriors inside the 50. It's front and centre to Cook, who's good on the left boot. Will it curl back enough? It won't. And on the last line, it's escorted through by Sean McGuinness. The first score of the afternoon goes Hoppers Crossing's way, and the Tigers waste no time coming out of defence straight down the guts. Riosa pounces on the loose footy though for the Warriors, tries to get it off to Stranick. He was caught in the tackle, and the Tigers have the numbers, but the Warriors worked it out in the end, and there is a throw being picked out by, I think, the non-officiating umpire, and it's going the Tigers' way at centre half back, so they can reload. Hoppers Crossing one behind to start. Werribee Districts yet to score. We've played a minute.
Fast start here from Hoppers. They really want to get a couple of goals on the board against the breeze, a bit like Altona did last week against Werribee Districts. So really important here for Hoppers to hit the scoreboard early.
Ben Morton with the free kick at left half back. Umpire finally says it's time to go. He goes in the Prismal direction, missed the target, ends up with Ashland Brown for Hoppers. Kicks a high ball inside 50. It's off hands. And it's eventually a tackle's been made, and then the three players roll out of bounds, and we get a throw in under the scoreboard.
A few of those names that Chris Gillen mentioned, they need to try to quell in the clinches. Mitch Palmer getting a clearance early is one of those. So it's a good start for the Warriors.
Music you can hear in the background is from the change rooms. We've got a bit of a disco again this week, like last week out at Werribee.
We're going to get a secondary throw in. That first one was very, very short.
He's actually throwing the ball with the breeze too, so yeah, spare a thought for the old boundary umpires out there having to throw the ball into this breeze.
It's a better one.
Easy.
Riosa and Sullivan go. Sullivan wins it down with the left hand. Molives runs onto it on his left side, which is favourable. He's kicked it straight to Brown, as it was happened before with Morton. He gets a handball forward, another tackle, another throw in out of bounds, just next to the Hoppers Crossing interchange bench. 2 played, 1 point lead to Hoppers Crossing. First quarter on our WRFL match of the day on 88.9 Win FM, 90.1 if you're at the ground.
So as we anticipated, all the play would be over this side. It's been on the other side for the early going. It's flicked over the back by Sullivan through into the middle of the ground. The Tigers get onto it. Lee was caught high, and he's going to win a free kick. Underneath all of that, that was Trent Lee underneath. 12 goals for the season, Trent. He wheels inboard, steps around one, steadies, and delivers up to half forward. Caught behind there was, I think, Mould, but he ends up getting onto the football. Hand passes to Hamad. He backtracks. This is Scudamore, delivers out wide to Cameron Lee, who takes the mark. Rather, it was McGuinness who delivered. Scudamore was a late out. Kick inside the 50 for the Tigers. Up they go. Junker hands to it. Falls to the foot of the pack, and then he lays a tackle, Junker, and forces a stoppage about 40 metres out from goal to the One Tree Hill end here at Hoppers Crossing, Hogan's Road Reserve.
Important players today, the Lee brothers. They're really suited to these conditions.
From the restart, Junker won it, but straight to Galley. Galley's kick took the breeze. And is it on the full?
It was just.
So Shebecki's going to get the free kick.
About half a foot, Willow.
Big game for him today, Daniel Shebecki. He's another one who's suited for these conditions. Hard body in and under. Didn't have the greatest game last week against the Vikings, so he'll be very keen to hit back today.
But Cassius Napoleon White, man in the mark for the Warriors, played in the under-18s rep team as Shebecki goes long inside 50. There's a mark at the back there. It's a good defensive mark there by Armstrong Western.
Yes, Napoleon White, one of the great names of the WRFL. Pity there's not Dylan Vojo Rainbow out there with him. So
he moves it quickly. Squaring ball goes to McMahon, and they go out the outer side, and the mark's been taken. The Warriors look to run it. The handball goes in the kitchen direction. And he barges his way through, knocks a player over in Seaweck. Did really well there, but they've lost possession. The Tigers go forward. It floats to the back. And eventually rolls out of bounds.
Seaweck very slow to get up to. He's slowly getting up to his haunches, but he felt that one.
It's a good front-on collision there. Nothing untoward in that one at all. So a throw in the left forward pocket for the Tigers near the left behind post. 4.5 played. Still, it's 1 point apiece. No, just 1-0. Well, the big scoreboard says 1 point apiece, so I apologise to the listeners. 1 point Hoppers.
I think they thought that was a point just then.
They do. As play restarts, Armstrong Western in front. Junker wins it down. A lot of players around the ball. Mould lays the tackle, and we'll get a ball up 30 out.
Focus on our scoreboard, Willow. We don't often get it wrong. Correct. Throw in inside the 50. Junker was up in the ruck. It's bouncing around. It falls out to the side for Dundon, who had an opportunity in the pocket, but it spills out towards Muscat, who clears the defence, but only as far as Will Sullivan, who's guarding the half-forward line for the Tigers. He takes the mark. He's a long way out, won't set himself up. He kicks looking for Prismal, just had a bit too much meat on it. It's chopped off by Ashland Brown, the captain of the Warriors, at fullback.
I think he misjudged the breeze there. It caught the ball a bit more than he expected, and it was a pretty safe mark for the Hoppers defender.
Goes back across to
Galley.
Right fullback. His kick was too strong, but then coming in from the back was Jordan Cook, who kicked, well, it was a rush behind, but it was off his boot in the early stages, and he's popped that out of bounds on the full. So the wind is wreaking a bit of havoc out there. The Tigers inside 50, one-on-one contest. Junker front spot. Fist came from the back from Brandon Houlihan, and it's out of play. So after a good start from the Warriors, it's mainly all Werribee at the moment.
Might be a bit like a few weeks ago at Auburn-Vale. The wind is so strong that it's making moving the ball either with it or against it very difficult. I think it's going to be a very low-scoring affair like the earlier two games.
From the throw-in, comes out to Kitchen. Chopped off by Prismal, tries to centre it up, and standing in the way there is Chase Guy for the Warriors in the long sleeves. Hamad stands the mark. He goes off towards Ashland Brown, who the bounce wasn't kind for him, and then Hamad closed quickly, and it bounces off his bootlaces and trundles out of play. So they made a bit of a mess of that in defence, the Warriors, and the Tigers can hold it up. 50 metres out, it'll be thrown in.
Even hitting targets with handballs is difficult. The wind's just blowing it away, or it's picking it up and blowing it past targets.
Thrown back in. Armstrong Western in front, and then did a fresh airy. It came off really well, and they get the clearance to the Warriors through Guy. And they've turned it over, and Lee Johnson takes a good mark on centre wing. He moves it on quickly, goes inboard. Drop was taken there by his teammate, but now the Warriors come away with it. Palmer's got it now. Weaves around one, left foot, little one. It's a good in the centre square. Mark has been taken there by Payne, long way from home. His squaring ball goes out in the Cook direction. Who marks? He tries to get back on his left side. He does, and he pokes it inside 50. And the mark has been taken there by
Tricola, I think.
Tricola, it is, yeah. Thanks, Cade.
Yeah. And that was a good kick by Cook as well. He didn't hit it too hard. He was kicking into the breeze. He kept it low and soft and right onto the chest of Tricola.
The way the breeze is, it's almost like right point post. The distance could be a problem, though, because there's going to be slightly kicking into it. But Tricola, he comes in, kicks on its way. It's a floater, but that may be helpful. And it's got right to the goal line and off hands and through for a rush behind. So Hoppers Crossing with the opening two scores of the afternoon. They are 2 behind. Werribee Districts yet to score. 8 played opening quarter.
So straight out of defence, Shebeki does the kick in. Beautiful kick. Finds Scudamore through the middle. He shares it out wide with Prismal. It was a dinking kick. He darts inboard, gets around Armstrong West and kicks deep inside the 50. The Warriors look to have it covered. Underneath there, an opportunity for Henley. Couldn't hold it in. And he's held up by Rainbow.
Bit better ball movement there from Werribee. Lovely long kick out from Daniel Shebeki. Really set them up.
So it's a ball up about 35 metres out from goal. Knocked down by Armstrong West and still in the congestion. The umpire's probably going to have to do it again, and he will blow his whistle.
Be doing plenty of that today, the umpires. Going to be a lot of stoppages.
2 behinds, Hoppers Crossing. Werribee Districts yet to score. Almost 9 minutes gone. Dangerous tap into the corridor by Armstrong Western. It spills free into a dangerous spot. The Tigers come through. Rainbow, it comes out in the Paddy direction, and it's slapped over the boundary line by Hoppers Crossing, who didn't want to allow the Tigers any space.
Brenton Payne's the last Hoppers player on the ground. He's currently in the centre of the ground. There's nobody behind him at all. All the players on the field have gone up to the One Tree Hill end.
Low throw in. Favoured Armstrong Western. Does his own roving. Handballs back. Across the face of goal. Eventually goes through for a behind. So the first score for the Tigers is a handball behind by Harley Armstrong Western. So they trail by 1 point. 2 behinds, plays 1 behind. 9.5 opening quarter. WRFL match of the day on 88.9. Win FM, Andrew Wilson, Pepe Cavalieri and Cade Lucas. And you're with Pepe Cavalieri right now.
Let's see if the automatic scoreboard updates that second behind, which wouldn't be correct for Werribee. They've just got the one so far, but it's staying put. They've corrected themselves through the middle. It's taken by Houlihan, who plays on quickly, kicks up towards centre half forward. A hand in there by the Tigers defence. Cassius White gets onto it. Burst of speed, 40 out, kicks a low bullet into the pocket. Searching for his teammate. He's going to be able to keep it in. Throw it onto the boot. It was smothered. Kitchen gets onto it, then gets it back. Can he do something from the boundary? Tries to shrug the tackle. Hand passes forward. Coming up to meet it. There is Guy.
Well done, Shebeki.
Shebeki is being chased by Kitchen, but he didn't have the pace. Shebeki goes in the Prismal direction. Off hands over the back, and he ghosts onto the footy. Kicks it inside the 50. It's an open forward line. Rainbow traps the footy well. Runs into a huge tackle by Barbieri. That's not going anywhere. It'll be balled up 40 metres out from goal.
That was like the sort of tackles you saw on Wednesday night in the State of Origin. That was front on and really hard. Gee, there was some skill there from Napoleon White, though. I love the way he shimmied the hips and got away from a tackle. He could really liven up this game.
From the stoppage, Seaweck, good in the congestion, bursts free, gets the hand pass out of the way, thrown onto the boot by Mould. Rainbow in a good spot, just over his head. Bounces through for a behind. They're second, the Tigers, 2 behinds apiece. Still no goal after 11 minutes at Hogan's Road.
Yeah, the wind playing havoc with the skills, but it's certainly not affecting the hardness. This is a pretty tough contest out there. There's going to be some bruised bodies at the end of it.
Braden Ferrari plays on from the goal square, kicks out of defence, searching for his captain there in Ashland Brown, who jumped up, couldn't quite take the mark. He's claimed in the tackle. Be a ball up.
Brady Seaweck coming off for the Tigers. He copped a heavy knock earlier, so maybe he's going to get some work done on that.
Armstrong Weston had his kick smothered by his own teammate in Palmer. Hand pass inside the 50. Ryan Kitchen is dumped in a tackle by Oscar Junker. There'll be another ball up, 48 metres out from the Tigers' goal.
Gee, there's been some big tackles so far in this game. Maybe it's a product of the ball holding up in the wind and players being caught up under it, but there's been some big hits.
Rioza wins it. Brown tries to spin out of trouble, then flicked a handball in the space that came off. Well, Pizzuto with a beautiful run-down tackle wins the free kick.
He's just come on the ground. He's got fresh legs, Pizzuto, and he used them there.
It might be a chance from here. He goes to the pass instead, but it had too much on it. It's hard to judge some of these kicks this afternoon.
Sure is.
And Braden Ferrari takes a good defensive mark, goes to the switch to the outer side. It stays in, and the mark's been taken by Andrew in the right back pocket. Tips it over the top. Is good. Riley Kitchen's got it. No, it wasn't good. It's on the full. So free kick will go the way of Mark Pizzuto, just outside 50.
Need to move it quickly here, Werribee, before Hoppers can get numbers back, which they look as though they've done now. So it's going to struggle to find a target.
So he runs out, kicks a long ball, and misses everything near side. And the free kick will go in the right back pocket for the Warriors, with scores level at the 13-minute mark of the opening quarter. 2 behinds apiece.
Gee,
on 88.9 Win FM.
He got onto that. It certainly got the distance, no worries, but they seem to be struggling to kick drop punts. Maybe the wind's affecting the spin of the ball. A lot of them are just these floaty half-torque kicks, and they're very hard to direct where you want them to go.
Well, it definitely affects the ball drop as well, you would think. Mark's taken by Ashland Brown right up against the left behind post. Deep in defence for the Warriors. He sends it out to left half back. Ferrari's going to have to fly from the back, but front spot to Junker, who sends a beautiful ball inside 50, and gliding in from the side is Dundon.
That's why he was on an AFL list. Oscar Junker, very good mark in windy conditions, and then a lovely left foot pass, a rapier-like pass into Dundon.
So Judah Dundon, he's only about 30 metres out, slightly right of centre. We'll have to start this left goal post. It will move right. Good side for a left footer, and he just didn't start that. No, he squeezed it in. Kicked it with enough pace. The wind didn't quite do enough, but the umpire certainly worked. It's 1-2-8 Werribee Districts. They've got the first. It took 14 minutes. Hoppers crossing 2 behinds.
It's not just the players who are being deceived a bit by the wind, but the commentators too. I think we all thought he'd missed that. It certainly looked like a hook, but he pumped the fist almost straight away, and the umpire said it was a goal. So an important goal there for Werribee. They do have the breeze. It's certainly not not an easy breeze for them, even though it's at their back, but a bit of class there from Oscar Junker. Lovely mark and great kick onto Dundon, who finished. That's the sort of thing they need to do. Junker's gone into the ruck now too, so they've got the early lead here, Werribee. Can they build on it?
6-point lead to the Tigers. 1-2-8 plays 2 behind. Umpire throws it up. Junker jumped up high, won the hit out over Rioza. They go forward immediately through Scudamore. The ball goes inside 50, but it might come out there. Running onto it, there's Williams. He's wrapped up in a tackle. Trent Lee's there as well, and we'll get a ball up on the 50. At pretty much true centre half forward here at Hogan's Road. There's a bit of a push and shove.
Yes, Trent Lee giving a bit of just a nice welcome to his Hoppers opponent there.
So from the restart, Rioza wins it down. Scudamore with a 360 now kicks a high ball to full foot. Rainbow used his body. Oh, copped a shocking bounce. Could have almost gone through, but it took a lefty. And it goes through for one behind.
I think he tried to shepherd it through, and then the bounce went the wrong side. He probably should have attacked the ball.
So the Warriors just struggling to get it out of defence. The Tigers doing a good job of holding it in. That's a great mark from the side by Ferrari. Read the flight of the footy really well. Darts a hand pass inboard to McMahon, who delivers down the wing. Chasing it and getting there first is Lee Johnston for the Tigers. He does well, but then couldn't quite keep it in. Paddy copped one in the face, and he felt that one, Jordan Paddy. Says.
All for nothing as well, because the ball was already out of bounds 50 metres away from him.
They hurt any day, but especially on a cold day like this with a hard football in the noggin. Gee whiz.
Had to throw in. Just forward of the wing for Hoppers Crossing on the clubroom side. Underneath there is McMahon. He did really well. Shovels it out to Muscat. Kicks to full forward. Gets over the head of Armstrong Western. Still an opportunity for Armstrong Western. Oh. It's tapped forward brilliantly. Can they finish in the goal line here? Picked up by Cook. Surely from here he'll goal. And he does. Hoppers with their first. They were made to work for it. But Jordan Cook from point blank made no mistake. 1-2-8 Hoppers Crossing. A point adrift of the Tigers, 1-3-9, 16 3/4 gone of the first.
He's been good for them so far, Cook, working through the midfield and also up forward, and that was a good finish from a very tight angle, very close in, but he still managed to steer it home, and it's important that Hoppers get an early goal here. They nearly got one in the opening seconds, but since then it's been all Werribee, and good for Hoppers to get a reply and to stay in touch, even though they're against the breeze. So got a very tight contest here, not pretty, but very tight.
17 played now, 1 point margin in favour of the Tigers. Junker again reaches high over the top there. Pizzuta got a bad bounce. Seaweek lays a tackle. Good to see him back out there. But it's the Warriors that go forward. The bomb from Barbieri. A high ball goes inside 50. Viola got a hand to it. Cook, who's just kicked the goal. Handballs 20 metres in the wrong direction, but it comes off as Guy kicks a low ball inside 50. Mark was dropped there by Sullivan for the Tigers, and the ball rolls towards goal. It stayed in. It's picked up by Viola. Can he snap around the body? He had. What a goal! Daniel Jackson Viola it was from the pocket with an absolute beauty, and the Warriors retake the lead by 5 points. They are 2-2-14 over Werribee Districts. 1-3-9-18 played.
Well, that was a magnificent goal. I think on his non-preferred too, facing away from the goals, and he hooked it over his body. And that's just the touch of class, the little bit of brilliance that might separate the two teams today. Those sorts of goals, and that was just instinctive from Viola, and suddenly Hoppers have got 2 in a row and hit the front. Steve Credior could be very happy with this performance so far. They're certainly making the most of their opportunities when they do go forward, the Warriors.
Back in the middle, close to time on it, slapped forward by Riosa, and the Warriors an opportunity, but it's gathered by Scudamore off the back edge of the circles. It comes back inboard, a high ball by Hoppers Crossing, goes out towards the wing. Kitchen contests with Donnan, spills out to Hamad, who gets a kick up to half forward. Lee's out positioned here, it falls to Molavas. His hand pass was intercepted by Ferrari, who gets a delicate little ball, but it's chopped off by Donnan, who almost copped an elbow from Kitchen, and Kitchen nearly got him, and the kick was chopped off inside 50 by Henley, who shares it out wide with Chase Guy. Gives it over the top to his captain by hand. Ashland Brown takes a bounce out of half-back, manoeuvres himself inboard. Horrible kick. It's turned over to Bucks, who from 60 loads it to the goal square. Lee at the back. Did anyone touch that? It doesn't matter. It's going to be escorted through on the line in defence for the Warriors by Nathan Williams. The Warriors lead is trimmed to 4 points, 2-2-14. Werribee Districts 1-4-10, 19 and a half gone.
Has Bucks got the headgear on?
He does.
Is that as a consequence of last week, or have I missed something? Is he
No,
normally
possibly.
played
No, he doesn't normally.
He caught one in the head, didn't he, last week?
He did, so I wouldn't surprise if that's some sort of concussion precaution. As the Warriors move it out to right half back, it's in the hands of Chase Guy in the long sleeves. Not the dumbest move on a day like today. Kicks it down the wing. They contest. It falls to the back, and the Tigers have it off the back edge of the wing here. Sullivan, good ball up to half forward. Paddy out position, but he did really well on ground level. Spills the footy loose, but the Warriors get onto it again. That's Williams. Paddy wraps him up. Ball up at centre half forward.
Surprised there's not more long sleeves out there. I can hardly see any apart from Cameron Lee.
Kitchen's got the sleeves on.
Kitchen's got it, yeah. But still.
Galley.
McGuinness.
We've certainly got him on here in the box.
Keep naming them. Tossed up, centre half forward. Rucks missed it. Ball's on the ground. A lot of players around it. Someone's got it. Don't know who. But we'll get a ball up. Scudamore at the bottom of the pack. And he's the last one up. Hands it back to the umpire. We'll do it all again at centre half forward. As they go up, it's Armstrong Weston wins it down with the left hand. Ball's loose. Armstrong Weston ends up with it again. Went the handball. Looking for his captain, and Brown missed him. Favoured Mollivis, but Ashland Brown did really, really well there. Got a handball back to Henley. He's forced to hack one out, and it's come off because it's landed on the chest of his teammate in the right back pocket. I think it's Muscat out there.
He's been good back there, Ashland Brown, really marshalling this defence against a Werribee team with the breeze at their backs.
Muscat it was, off hands from Cook. Sullivan's there. That's Will. He's wrapped up in the tackle. Ball up at left half forward.
Those defensive organisers are very important today. Daniel Shebeki probably doing that job for Werribee, even though he's off at the moment. But yeah, very important to be organised behind the ball against this breeze.
Whistle in the ruck contests. Free kick against Armstrong Weston for holding. So the free kick will go to Will Sullivan. He's got it at left half forward for the Tigers. 21 and a half minutes played now of this opening quarter. It's a 4-point lead to Hoppers Crossing. They kicked the last two of the game. The kick was poor by Sullivan. It's chopped off by the Warriors. Now they look to come out of defence. Palmer on his left boot kicks a high ball, but Will Sullivan makes up for his mistake and takes a good mark at centre wing on the outer side.
Will Sullivan moves it on quickly, searching up the line there for Lee, who wheels onto his right boot, kicks inside the 50. A couple of players lurking there. It spills out as a free kick. It's going Hoppers Crossing's way at full back. Against Jordan Paddy, I think.
Slow to get up to the Hoppers player.
I think it's Henley.
Get some help from his captain, Ashland Brown.
It's not Henley, it's Williams, and he is
not good.
Not in a good way.
He's limping very heavily like it's an ankle or a calf or something.
Could be an ankle. It's not moving.
Trainers haven't come out to him.
They got one coming out. I think they need about 3 or 4 to help him get off the ground.
They're in no hurry.
He's in a lot of trouble.
Looks like his left ankle. Certainly some part of the left leg. As it is, Ashland Brown takes the kick, sends the Warriors out the far side. Junker leaps up almost uncontested. Didn't take the mark, but won the footy anyway. Gives it over the top to Prismal. Kicks inside 50. Molovas used the body well,
done, Ferrari.
But pretty much just shoved Ferrari into the path of the ball, and then he took the mark. So their kicks inside 50 haven't been all that effective, the Tigers, even though they've had most of the entries. And that's a good kick by Ferrari. Finds Guy, who's been busy. 2-2-14 Hoppers Crossing. Werribee Districts 1-4-10. 23 minutes gone of this opening quarter.
Oh, early fly. That's going to be
kick goes down the wing, and it's a free kick to Sullivan.
What's a 4-point lead in these conditions when you haven't got the breeze?
It's pretty big, I would imagine. Into the middle for Dundon. High ball inside 50. They got the Flyers. Hoppers Crossing. Fist 4 to the play. Pizzuto has to go in there. Paddy as well extricates it. He's caught high. And he will win the free kick. Too far out to score at centre half forward.
Well, he mightn't be too far out if a gust of breeze gets up behind him, though he's not a big man. But
he's got someone to run by, and well, he might back himself in here, Jordan Paddy. He's going the long run up, man on the mark.
And
it's Brandon Houlihan and 48 metres out.
They need one here. They're 4 points behind, and we're into time on in the first term with the breeze.
Jordan Paddy sets it up high. Has it got the legs? Junker's there. It's off hands. It's still in the field of play. It's picked up there on the last line by Henley, who pokes the kick short to Houlihan, steps around one, delivers over the top via hand to Guy, back inboard to Palmer, onto his preferred left, hoists it down the wing. Payne the target, reaches up, couldn't bring down the mark, gets another play at it, hand pass through the middle for Cook, shares it out wide close to the boundary line. Guy, who's ran forward again, he was poised with the ball in hand and he ran out of room though.
Poor play by the Tigers then with that Jordan Paddy shot. I got 3 Warriors defenders on one Tigers forward and they're able to work it out and run it out of defence too easily.
Their pressure in the forward line hasn't been good. Hoppers have been very good down back though, very well organised. But yeah, Werribee haven't brought the pressure, which you'd think they would have with the small players they've got, the Lee brothers and others. But it hasn't been there so far.
So we're throwing in front of the Hoppers crossing interchange bench. No rucks, get it. Loose ball. Warriors run on. But there's Barbieri, but he fell over. Picked up by Mould for the Tigers. He's dispossessed and he's given away the free kick. Advantage is not going to be paid, and lucky for the Tigers because Napoleon White was in space there if he had got the handle from Palmer. It's going to go back to Daniel Barbieri. It's at centre half forward. So he kicks a high ball inside 50. Can they get a mark? They can't. Off hands for the Tigers. Eventually the handball ends up with Molivus. Haven't seen a lot of him so far this afternoon, but he has a good kick, finds Cam Lee on the defensive side of wing. Broadcast side of the ground, kicks long to half forward, goes out there in the Junker direction. He's in a one-on-one with Ferrari. They go one-on-one. The ball stays in Junker. Did really well there. Paddled it over there to Trent Lee. Goes a flying shot towards goal. Was it coming back?
I think it's... I'm not sure. They called it behind, but...
No, I think it was a belated...
boundary throw-in, yeah, he was out.
It is. Call. So, it's thrown in the forward pocket.
Yeah, 30 round from the Tigers' goal.
26 gone of the first quarter. 4-point lead to Hoppers Crossing. Reaching up there was Armstrong West and wins it down. And then Junker lays a tackle. Ball up. About 35 metres out from the Tigers' goal, who'd hoped to take a lead into quarter time, having been with the wind. It spills out to Prismal, who throws it onto the boot. How's the wind going to affect this? Not enough in his favour. It misses to the left. 1-5 now, the Tigers. Hoppers 2 goals, 2. The margin is 3. Ashland Brown doing the kicking in. Kicks out in the Payne direction. Had to shield his eyes from the sun, and then took the mark on his chest. Did well, Brenton Payne, but a long way from where he'd prefer to be. Kicks it down the wing. That's going to float out on the full, I think. No, not quite. It stays in the field of play. And it's a mark to Johnston.
It was well judged in the breeze too by Johnston. He's been okay back there.
He's been good. He kicks a dangerous ball through the middle, lands at the bootlaces of Pizzuto, I think. Wasn't paid the mark, and then he was wrapped up.
Bunk ball had just hit the turf in front of him, and he thought it was a mark, and then he was beset upon.
So both rucks kind of hold themselves out of it and then both appeal for the free kick. The Tigers win the clearance up towards half forward. They got the numbers, the Warriors. Junker just let Ferrari jump at the football then. He took the mark and gave it over the top to his teammate, who kicks it through the middle. Riosa the target, sliding, and then another bunk ball.
Again, their defenders behind the ball, Hoppers, are very well set up. Ferrari and Brown have taken a number of uncontested marks, intercept marks.
So ball up on the wing. Neither rucks got to it. Hamad got a high ball up to half forward and the siren sounds. So it's quarter time at Hogan's Road Reserve. The home side kicking against the breeze. Lead by 3 points. 2-2-14 to 1 goal 5. 38 to 28, so Willow will be pleased with that. And the Hawks by 23 points over Fremantle down in Tassie, 26 to 3, just a few minutes into the second quarter. So I can imagine it won't be very nice conditions down in Launceston. Cade, you'd know that better than anyone, being a Tassie native.
Yes, well, it's pretty cold in Launceston even when it's hot, so it'd be frigid there today. Though it's not on the coast of Launceston, so probably not as breezy as it would be here.
All right, so we're going to get ourselves underway in the second quarter. Better reset the clock, though. Let's go. Not very good. Can't do that without Willow in the caravan anyway. The umpire throws the ball up in the air. Seaweck lays a strong tackle, but the Warriors get the clearance up towards half forward. The mark's taken by Stranick, who wheels onto the left boot, kicks towards Payne. A really good fist comes late there from Shebeki. That was essential. And then it's taken by McGuinness, who's happily escorted over the boundary line, and it will be thrown in the left forward pocket. So this is a really key 10 minutes or so for Werribee, who didn't take full toll of the breeze in the opening quarter, and if Hoppers can here, they can take a stranglehold on the match. From the throw-in inside the 50, Sullivan wins the tap from the back. It's picked up by Lee, who was dumped in the tackle, maybe lucky to not get pinged for holding the ball. Little kick skews out Hoppers Crossing's way only as far as Shebeki, and then his kick was chopped off by Brown, whose intercept marking along with Ferrari's been exceptional so far. He's got a very big leg on him. He sets it high in the air. Got to read it there. Standing underneath it there was Caleb Sullivan, I think, for the Tigers. No one took the mark. Handpass shoveled out. Houlihan slapped it out into a bit of space. Cook tries to get onto it. Molovas overtook him and then saw it out of play. So a throw in at half forward for the Warriors, leading by 3 points. 1 minute and a half played in this second quarter.
Really got to hold up here, the Werribee defence. They've got to take a leaf out of Hopper's book with the way they set up behind the ball. Daniel Shebeki's really important for them down there as that general.
Thrown back in. Sullivan used his body, won it down, almost did his own roving. Still at the foot of the ruckman. Sullivan lays a tackle. And it kept going a little bit longer, and eventually Houlihan's taken the ground. Umpire will ball it up. 2 played, second quarter, 3-point lead to Hoppers Crossing. Sullivan used his height, reached over the top. Houlihan crumbed it. Flying shot towards goal is well wide. And it's out of bounds on the full, and a free kick will go in the left back pocket for the Tigers. To be taken there by Caleb Sullivan.
Hoppers may be better placed to take advantage of the breeze too, because they've got those bigger targets, particularly with Payne. Werribee with Panai out, and I suppose apart from Junker, they don't really have a big marking target up there.
Sullivan just pokes it, looking for his brother. It's fisted out of bounds, and we're to throw in on the 50.
Good set up, Donald.
2.5 played on 88.9 Win FM for the second quarter. Andrew Wilson, Pepe Cavalieri and Kate Lucas here at Hogan's Road Reserve for Hoppers Crossing and Werribee Districts. Division 1 clash. So the umpire throws it back in. Ferrari used his body, won it down, pat it towards the line, and it goes out of bounds, and we'll do it all again.
And a big thank you to the Hoppers Crossing Football Club as well for putting us up this afternoon in a nice new position right on centre wing as well. Obviously with the construction going on at the sports club at the other end. We can't be camped in the pocket anymore, but that's fine by us. We're enjoying our central position here. From the throw-in, Armstrong Western again prolific up there, wins it down. But straight into the arms of Hamad, who's wrapped up. So they're holding it in at the moment, the Warriors. Can they make it count on the scoreboard? They're up 2-2 to 1-5. Whistle straight away, Shepherd, and a free kick. Or are they doing it again? No free kick.
Just doing it again.
Not sure about that. So the rucks grapple with each other. Double-handed it down. That's clever by Armstrong Western. Can Houlihan do anything with it? A quick little shovel hand pass to Payne, who snaps and goals from the tip of the goal square. And that's a good start to the second quarter for Hoppers. Their lead is 9. 3-2-20 to 1-5-11. Just under 4 minutes gone of the second term.
Yep, just what the home team wanted, just what the visitors didn't want. An early goal to start this second term after Hoppers come out of the first quarter with an unlikely lead, and now they're building on it here with Payne getting an early goal, and the signs are that they might be about to take more advantage of this breeze than Werribee did in the first quarter. So some problems here for Chris Gillam and his men.
Gee, I think we underestimate Hoppers at times, though. I mean, last year we thought they maybe were a bit off the pace, but when it mattered most, they won the games they needed to win, and they made the grand final, so they certainly shouldn't be written off again here. They're up by 9 points against the Tigers. There's a push in the back in the middle. It's going to go the Tigers' way, and Trent Lee, the beneficiary. What can he do with it here? He goes out wide to Mould, who lays it off to the side for Pizzuto, who can have a bounce if he wants. He chooses not to. He kicks inside 50. Junker, front spot. Read it well. Should have taken the mark in the end, probably. They got numbers at the fall. It comes out to Corey Muscat in the left back pocket. Gives it to Guy. Out towards Henley, who was caught in the tackle straight away, but he lost it. And then Galley was tackled over the boundary line on that outer side.
They're well placed to try and take advantage of this situation, Werribee, even though they're against the breeze. They do have that smaller forward line, a lot of smaller crummers up there. So I wouldn't be surprised if they could jag a couple of goals against it.
Throw in, palms down by Armstrong West, and then the clearance came Cook's way up inside the 50. Stranack wins the footy, strolls into 40. Can he finish with a goal? Yes, he can. And they run away just a little more, Hoppers. 4-2-26 to 1-5-11. They're out by 15. They conceded the first to the Tigers. They've kicked 4 since then. And they build a handy lead.
And that's the worry for Werribee. When they do go forward, they get sucked up the ground, and Hoppers managed to get some clean ball there, and then they got them over the back, and it was Stranick where you could have run in probably another 20 or 30 metres more and put it through. So, yeah, they just seem to be a bit better structured around the ground at the moment, Hoppers, and they didn't get caught out the back like that in the first term, yet here in the second term Werribee have, and it's cost them. So they're already up against it, the Tigers.
Fantastic start by Hoppers Crossing in this second quarter as the play restarts. Sullivan won it down. Prismal's got it, somehow got a kick away. There's a whistle.
He flat out dropped that. It wasn't even an attempt at a hand pass, that was a drop.
He's been pinged for holding the ball, so free kick's going to go to the way of Hoppers Crossing inside the centre square. Kick's going to go to McMahon. So it's 4-2-26 Hoppers Crossing Werribee Districts 1-5-11 as the kick goes inside 50, but clears everyone, bounces, high ball. It's picked up there by Palmer, got around one, snaps on the left boot. Is it going to be a goal? Touched on the line.
But deserved a goal. That was brilliant movement by Palmer. Just a great shimmy of the hips and a shrug of the shoulders to escape a tackle. Then the snap was brilliant. It got a lot of rotation on the ball. It was going right through, just got touched.
They're right on top here, Hoppers Crossing. The Tigers need to do something about it. That's a great mark taken there out of defence by Lockie Rainbow. The kick by Bucks was to his advantage. He marks defensive side of the wing right in front of our broadcast position here at Hogan's Road. He kicks a kind of a nothing ball up towards half forward, and that's a strong mark taken in defence for the Warriors.
Junker Big Saw, it's going to come off the ground.
That's a blow for them because he's their main target. Not a great day for big marking players, but he certainly provides something to aim at.
So they move it quickly here, the Warriors. Lucas Andrew got it over the top towards Ferrari, who shared it out wide, and now all of a sudden they're up at half forward. The switch opens the play nicely for them. The kick inside the 50, over the back. Stranick looks dangerous again, just got away from him, hacked out of there in defence by the Tigers. Up in the direction of Stranick, who roves the pack, throws it onto the boot. It was his opposite foot. And then marking was McGuinness.
They're moving the ball much better, Hoppers, and Werribee don't have the numbers back that Hoppers did in the first quarter. It's a noticeable difference between the two teams.
Well, a couple of goals here is going to make things really difficult for the Tigers. They're really up against it at the moment. Lee wins the football. Hand pass turned over to Henley. Cassius White through the middle. Hoists a kick into the pocket. They've got the numbers here at the back. Payne had more of it than Caleb Sullivan, and he's camped in the right forward pocket. It's an acute angle 40 metres out from goal, but he's got the wind helping him from left to right. So he can let it drift if he wants. Brenton Payne, right foot drop punt. That's clever, and that is a goal. Just how he drew it up. And his second of the game and the term, Brenton Payne, and all of a sudden the Warriors are 22 points clear. They've kicked 3 goals, 1 in the first 9 minutes of this second term, and they're taking the Tigers to school at the moment.
Yep, they're in trouble here, Werribee. That was a disappointing effort there from Sullivan, who was in front, and yet he was outmarked from behind by Brenton Payne, who I don't think Sullivan even considered that he would outmark him, but he just plucked it over his head, and then the kick was fantastic. They've kicked some great goals, Hoppers. They're certainly making the most of their opportunities. They seem to be dealing with the wind and the conditions better, and Werribee need to turn this around quick.
Free kick will go the way of Will Sullivan. Rioja ran past it. He gets the handball over to Seawick. Kicks a floater to half forward. It's chopped off nicely there by Ethan Henley for the Warriors, and they link by hand now. It's with Palmer. He's on his favoured left side. Kicks a bouncing ball to half forward in the Stranick connection direction. Morton worked his way under it. Stranick comes back to lay some pressure. Morton fall over. Stranick keeps his feet. Runs to 45. Can he get his second of the quarter? He can't. Goes across the face of goal. Bounces in, and we'll get a throw in 10 metres round in the right forward pocket, and the Hoppers Crossing goal. They kicked the last 5 to lead by 22 points, 5-3-33 to 1-5-11. In the WRFL match of the day on 88.9 Win FM. It's a big quarter for them so far with 3 straight goals in it. Werribee Districts have yet to score in this second quarter. And from the ruck contest, is there a free kick? No.
That's the second time he's given an instruction from a stoppage and not paid a free kick.
Warned him once, paid it the second time. Toss back in eventually. Sullivan in front, wins it down. Bucks gets it, got the headgear on. Gets time to steady on his right boot, but that's going to hold up in the breeze. Brown came up, well, that could have been a free kick. The umpire said no. And there's a tackle laid by Rioza on Mould, and we'll get a ball up at left half back for the Tigers. Ball up in front of their interchange bench. Rioza and Sullivan to do the ruck work. Rioza pushed off, fend off. It'll be a free kick to Sullivan from the stoppage.
So Sullivan from left half back. Got to make something of this, the Tigers. They've got about 15, 16 minutes to get through, and they can't allow the Warriors to get further away. That's wide of the mark, way wide of the mark, and there's some ominous clouds looming in the South Willow. This lead could be very handy. Now, Hoppers Crossing, they've only lost one of their last 5. That game was to Altona here in abysmal conditions, and they kicked 3 goals 15 that day, so they've been very efficient this time around. So they might have figured something out. Henley in the middle, had his kick smothered. Still an opportunity for Hoppers Crossing. Seaweck burrows in, gets the footy and loses it. Barbieri skews a kick out towards right half forward. Shebeki gets their first guy, steals it from him, runs to 45 on the boundary, sets it left to right. Payne on the line, and it's off hands. Gee, that looked handy as well from Chase Guy. Didn't quite get it done. It's off hands. 23 points the margin. 5-4-34 Hoppers Crossing. Werribee Districts 1-5-11. 12 minutes gone in this second quarter, and they have all the momentum.
It's a handy 23-point lead to the Warriors, and the Tigers all kicking. It was a good one. See what marks on his chest.
See Junker doing some run-throughs on the boundary in front of us. Looks like he might be about to come on.
So Seaweck, broadcast side up against the boundary line, kicks it to the half back, off hands. No one can take the mark. A lot of plays around the ball. Can the Warriors come away with possession? They seem to find the way every single time. Prismal at the bottom of the pack grabbed it. Umpire comes in and balls up. So we get a ball up on centre wing. Club room side of the ground here at Hogan's Road. 23-point lead to the Warriors. Rucks go at it. No one's able to really get a hit out. Houlihan's kick was smothered. He grabs it again now. Houlihan took 3 Tigers to stop him, and we'll get a ball up pretty much in exactly the same spot at the 13-minute mark of the second quarter. Again, no hit out by the ruckman. They both missed it. Sullivan wraps up Rioza.
Free kick being
and the free
up.
kick's going to Rioza for high tackle. Quickly gets the handball to Ashland Brown. He drives it long inside 50. Can they get a mark? It's a good defensive mark, though, taken by Sullivan in the last line of defence.
Really well judged grab back there.
Caleb Sullivan finds Molovas in the right back pocket. He's got Dundon on short. Has to go further afield as that option dries up. The kick is swinging a long way to close to the boundary line, but it favoured his teammate there in Raznovsky, the youngster. Takes the mark at right half back. Good hands.
Just slowing things down
Short
here a bit. Werribee taking the sting a bit out of Hoppers, who've been hot to trot. So it's probably not a bad tactic at this point in the game.
Scudamore short to Pizzuto. Just trying to maintain possession. All the momentum has been against them. They trail by 23 points. Didn't take really any chance of their advantage with the wind.
People in a tent over there watching the game. Must be like being in a tent on Everest Base Camp or something.
So the Tigers have moved it over to the broadcast wing. Buck's got a kick up towards half forward. Lee was out position there by Galley. Cassius White wasn't sure whether to pick it up. He did in the end. Lays it forward to the play by hand to Guy, who ducked under the tackle. Got it back to Galley. Tried to find Barbieri. Had to shepherd the footy away. Guy gets in, stripped of it. It spills to Shebeki. Needs to hit a target here. Hits a grubbing ball inside the 50. Well done by Ferrari. Just bustles his way through, and they use it well via hand. Out of defence come Hoppers Crossing. Out wide in the kitchen direction. That's of the Riley variety. He steps around Dundon once, twice, and the third time he got caught. But he laid it back to Palmer by hand. Sweeps it forward to the play for Andrew. And now again, inside the 50 through Cook. Payne's the target at the back. Sullivan, well done by Raznovsky. Spills into the middle. Hand pass blindly out of there. It picks up there by Cook, I think, who hits a high ball to the goal line. Can they get there? They do. Well, they're going to call a goal here, but I think Shebeki touched that, and he thinks so too, and he cannot believe it. It actually looked pretty obvious he got a fingertip to that.
Well, you could see Daniel Shebeki, the way he palmed it over. He didn't even punch it. He just sort of palmed it over as though he knew it was not over the line. And I think we can hear in the effects mics the thoughts of the Werribee supporters.
I think there's a free kick now, Cade, in the centre square.
So
well, even from here, I'm not sure who kicked the goal.
I think it was Riley Kitchen.
Daniel Shebeki's a pretty experienced footballer. He wouldn't be. He would know if it's over the line or not. And if it was going to be over the line, he would have really stretched out. He just palmed it.
I think they've made a blue there, the umpires. Anyway, Hoppers have the footy. Inside 50, Shebeki definitely got a fist on that one. And that goes a long way over the boundary line. And that's frustrating for the Tigers. They're 29 points down. Riley Kitchen with his first goal. And he's 12th of the season.
He almost punched the air out of the football there,
He sure did. Yep, I mean, I know we're not in the same position as the umpire, but that looked pretty obvious that it took a deflection off Shebeki's fist anyway. And it looked well in the field of play as well. From the stoppage and the throw-in. Opportunity there for Muscat close to the boundary line. Comes out to Palmer. Flying shot at goal was smothered. Molovas bursts free. Gets the hand pass back towards Caleb Sullivan. He's got nothing to go to. Dinks a kick towards Bucks, but the breeze carries it miles over his head. And it's out of bounds on the full, and they can reload again. Stranick has it at 45 metres out, and right side for a left footer too, Cade.
Wheels are at risk of coming off here a bit for Werribee. They just need to settle. People like Shebeki need to just calm the team down and just try and really hang tough for the next few minutes.
Stranick sets it up towards full forward. It's going to glide back. They're going to get a fist on this. It's still in the field of play. He rushes it through. So it's a 30-point lead to Hoppers Crossing. They're 6-5-41. Werribee Districts 1 goal, 5-11. 17 and a half minutes gone of this second quarter.
They just can't move the footy, Werribee. They just don't look like getting it past halfway.
No, they're stuck. Sullivan had a couple of goes at it. Underneath was Seawick, and he kicks it into the back of Ferrari. And ricochets out of play. Boundary throw-in.
Yeah, the difference in ball movement is stark. In this term, Hoppers have been able to move it quite quickly and have regularly got out over the back of Werribee. That never happened in the first quarter.
3-3 to Hoppers Crossing this quarter. Werribee Districts have not scored yet in the second quarter. Umpire throws it back in. Muscat picks it up now. He's wrapped up in the tackle by Pizzuto, and we'll get a ball up. 65 from the Warriors' goal, the One Tree Hill end. Armstrong Weston reaches over nicely with the left hand, but went straight to a Werribee District player. Then he kicked it to Houlihan. His kick was smothered. Armstrong Weston comes in and lays a tackle on Junker. Yeah. And pretty much same spot. We'll do it again.
Just very good pressure from the Hoppers. Good setup and structure around the ball, and just better skills in the breeze too. From
the restart, the Tigers get the clearance, but the free kick will go to Ryan Kitchen as the wind has picked up immensely here at the moment at Hogan's Road.
It was pretty strong to begin with.
It's a bit worse now, and the dark clouds are getting closer as the Warriors drive it long inside 50, but the Tigers are going to repel. Shebeki got it to Caleb Sullivan. His little chipping kick is chopped off there by Armstrong Weston. 55 from goal, kicks the centering high ball. It's going to do wonders in the breeze there. Good luck marking it. Off hands, the ball's at the tip of the goal square. Picked up there by Palmer, who somehow snapped across the body there, and it goes through for one behind. 31 points the lead now. 6-6-42. Hoppers Crossing 1-5-11. Werribee Districts. The rain ain't far away.
Armstrong Weston's been good for Hoppers too. He's playing the ruck, probably a bit undersized for a ruckman, but very mobile, very versatile, and he's having a pretty good game out there today.
So the Tigers out of defence again down the broadcast side. There's a free kick being picked out. It's going the Tigers' way. It'll be Junker's ball, so a bit of a reprieve there. The pressure.
Was that downfield for an incident on Daniel Shebeki?
Yeah, it might have been.
So maybe a slight reprieve there for Daniel Shebeki.
Junker's kick holds up in the breeze. Front spot was Paddy, had it fisted away from him, and then the hand pass from Bucks was astray.
They literally can't get it past centre wing, Werribee. They've hardly been forward of centre this term.
Well, if they can sort themselves out and have a better third quarter but not fall too far behind now, they're still in it, but they're not playing good footy at the moment. The Warriors much better. Pizzuto gets the clearance for the Tigers, but it's just
going backwards.
It's literally, he's kicked out a 50-metre kick and it's gone 15. Close to the boundary, Lee caught in the tackle, never made contact with his boot. Well done there by Liam McMahon.
Yeah.
It is really howling out there now.
Yeah, to be fair to Werribee, the conditions are worse now. The wind is much stronger.
And you can feel it in our microphone as well from the throw-in. Well, the kick up towards half forward. Raznovsky corralled up against the boundary. Bucks has a go. Dumped over the boundary. Throw in.
Yeah, the wind is definitely stronger, especially in the last few minutes, than it was in the first term. So Werribee are up against it maybe more than Hoppers were in the first quarter.
So free kick's going to go the way of the Tigers. The Bucks in the left back pocket. All the players are lining up for the kick. They don't know if he'll get the distance. It's that blowy out there at the moment.
Might blow back over his head.
I know. So he's going to kick it now. Clears defensive 50, which is a good thing. Viola does the spoiling off hands now. Ball gets paddled forward. Napoleon White did really well, kept it going. Somehow ends up with Rioza with a flying shot, and he's kicked it. 5 this quarter, 7 straight for the in a row to Hoppers Crossing. They are 7-6-48 to Werribee Districts, 1-5-11. That goal came out of nowhere. And it's brilliant stuff by Daniel Rioza there to get the goal.
Yeah, and it wasn't even a deliberate shot. He just sort of threw it on the boot, and it could have, slewed off the side and gone out in the full, but instead it went straight over the goal umpire's cap. Everything's going Hopper's way. The wind's certainly going their way, the play's going their way, and the scoreboard's very much going their way. And in these conditions, a lead now of 37 points. I know we've got a half a game to go, but it's difficult to see Werribee pulling this back.
Especially when they'll have to kick against the breeze in the last quarter, so even if they do peg it back by three-quarter time, well, that's why you just got to take advantage when the conditions are like this. Back in the middle, Armstrong Weston's going to have to follow up his ruck work. It spills out to Mould, who has a flying shot at goal for the Tigers inside 50. Paddy at the fall of the ball couldn't quite take the mark. He might get there. Junker's going to get there as well, and then well done in there by Ferrari, who gets a couple of high fives.
Got to try and lock this ball in there now, Werribee, and just play a bit of chaos footy, just scramble a shot at goal. That's what Hoppers were able to do in the first term. They got a couple of goals out of it, and they've gone on with it. Werribee have to try and do the same.
From the throw-in, it's going to come out towards Donnan, who trundles a kick forward. Opportunity there for Seaweck. Couldn't win the footy. It comes out towards Hamad, whose kick was poor, searching for Lee, and they've turned it over again, and they are bursting forward through the middle. Palmer takes a bounce through the guts. He could take a second if he wants. He chooses not to. Kicks inside the 50. Well done by Houlihan to apply the pressure. Cassius White might lay a tackle. Shank off the side of the boot. Bounces away from Stranick. Cassius White receives the footy. Oh, great smother there from Raznovsky. That could have been goal saving. And he finds the sanctuary of the boundary. 2
young guns there, Napoleon White and Raznovsky on debut. Raznovsky came from nowhere with a great spoil.
So the kick ends up with Liam McMahon for the Warriors. He's 70 from goal. He plays on, gets time to steady on his right boot, swings one back in, it lands on the chest of Viola, who's in front and in good position. And he will go back from 25 metres out directly in front. It's like a left point poster you got to aim for here, don't you? The wind's that strong.
He's kicked one, Jackson Viola. They've got some options up there. Hoppers, we often think of them as a small team, but they do have, now they've got Payne, they've got Viola up there. Armstrong Weston can go up there. They've got Ferrari down back. He can also go forward. So they do have quite a few tall options.
Viola comes in and he's missed it to the left-hand side. Did not come back enough. 1-1 for Viola. Margin 38.7 at 7:49 to 1-5-11. 24 and a half played of this second quarter in a WRFL match of the day here on 88.9 Win FM.
Just stabbed at that kick. He just tried to caress it through and missed to the near side. Might have been better just to kick through it a bit more.
They've got 6 individual goal kickers so far, so sharing the load.
Yeah, it's not one guy having a big day out. It's really a complete team performance.
Shebeki goes short to Mould. That's going very close to the boundary line. Oscar Junker had a go at it. It's still in the field of play. Hamad tries to burst free of 3-4 plays. He gives it over to Bucks, whose hand pass missed the target in Prismal. Napoleon White goes in, but diving over the footy there was Lee, and he earns the free kick for high contact. He trundles it forward towards Trent Lee. Comes back towards Pizzuto. He misses the target in Dundon, who's got to put his body on the line. He does. He shovels a hand pass out, searching for Pizzuto, but it's been turned over. The long sleeve brigade win the football. Barrels one down the wing. Bucks gets in the way, couldn't take the mark, has a second effort. Here's Caleb Sullivan. His hand pass was a little too hot for Raznovsky. The rain's on its way. And a good tackle laid. So it is Hoppers Crossing's pressure prevailing at the moment. 70 metres out from goal, it will be balled up.
Good
They're
news
38 points
like
up.
Blue sky behind the dark grey clouds, which will be a good thing.
That's what we're going to have to deal with before
Hopefully
we get to the blue sky, Willow.
Hopefully get the window shut at half-time quickly.
Looks like a solar eclipse is coming in. It's going to go dark.
Balled up. Sullivan reaches over the top of Rioza. Ball's on the deck. Houlihan's kick smothered. Guy picks it up, gets a handball back there to Tricola. Ball now paddled forward there by Cameron Lee, tries to pick it up, runs toward the mud pit there in the centre square. Houlihan recovers. There's a whistle and a holding free kick. It's going to go the way of the Warriors.
Yes, it will.
Tricola's going to take it, I believe.
It's been handy, Tricola. Has he kicked a goal? I think he kicked one earlier in the game, but a late inclusion this morning.
Has not scored.
He's kicked one behind.
I know he would have been playing reserves anyway, but, you know, if you got called up this morning, given the weather, you might just have second thoughts, maybe.
Tricola handballs back to Ryan Kitchen. Handball genius from the footy show. Kicks long inside 50. Off hands of Mould. Couldn't take the mark. The rain has arrived. There's a quick snap by Riley Kitchen. Is it snuck in?
No.
It has.
Oh, yes, for a point. Not a goal, though.
Rain's arrived in the commentary box too.
Cremate.
Almost signed to shut the window, but we'll hold on.
I think it is.
On the electronic scoreboard after scores, they've got
a lightning.
Yeah, lightning strikes, and it's easy to see that being reality here very soon. They might need to show it on the scoreboard. We'll see it in real life.
Well, it's getting pretty wet in here too. We're not a...
And I think there might be a bit of hail as well. Oh, it's all happening. It's all happening at Hogan's Road.
7-8-50 to 1-5-11. Please blow the siren for half-time soon. I think it's another downfield free kick going the Tigers' way after one of their players was dumped in defence.
It is hailing here. They called off the they called a stop to the reserves game when it hailed. Are they going to do the same here in the seniors? Because it is fair dinkum snowing out there.
Pizzuto gets the footy, gives hand passes inboard. It's intercepted by Tricola through the middle. He was tackled. It just slips out. Tried to be slapped forward there by Pizzuto as well. Brown tries to trundle it forward. Here's Viola. Slips a hand pass forward for Riosa. It's still an opportunity. Here's Payne coming up to meet it for Hoppers Crossing. Cook keeps it in the pocket. Hand passes inboard for Hamad. Slips a hand pass to Dundon. Trundles it forward. Good mark on his chest there by Ashland Brown. It is fair dinkum. So wet. We're inside a caravan and it is soaking wet in here too.
Whoever the timekeepers are being very cruel. Just blow the siren.
Brown kicks it inside the 50. It gets over the back. They're going to score another here. Stranick hacks it out of nowhere and puts it through for a goal. They're going to have a bit of a chat here.
Shabeki's blowing up at the umpire again.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's happened. What's they going to do? It's a goal. It is another goal to Hoppers Crossing. Oh, this is actually ridiculous.
We're about to drown. Here comes Krume's closing the window. So we literally can't actually see the game now because the window's been closed.
Stranick kicks his second goal. Hoppers are 45 points in front. We're not sure if we can see the game. Our sheets are soaked. And at least Krume's missus has brought us some hot jam donuts for half-time, which is good news.
What do you know? Krume's just come in from putting down the window and the rain has stopped.
That's all right. I think it's we can see enough from in here. It's okay. The crowd has disappeared. We're at the 29-minute mark. And what are they doing here? The word umpire's having a word.
666 maybe.
No.
We're 29.
They've given a fair few warnings here, the umpires.
We're 29 and a half minutes into the term, so it's not like we've got a lot of play to go.
This is incredible.
It's all right, Willow. As you said, there's blue sky over there. You idiot.
It's true. Look at it.
There's a bit of confusion in the middle as to what's going on.
I think the players don't know, the umpires don't know.
Well, we've got no one on the wing here in front of us, so there's a problem.
I reckon this rain is gone. I reckon we can open this again.
Free kick's going the way now. The umpires
I'm making an executive decision. We're opening the window.
Sullivan's got it, moves it quickly over the Trent Lee, still inside the centre square. He's on the cricket pitch area. He kicks wide. It's not really out there. Chase Guy's going to run out onto it there. Two players collide there. Still a loose ball. Lee's out there as well. The other Lee. He picks it up. Gets a hurry kick inside 50. Paddy in front, under the scoreboard, couldn't take the mark, and eventually rolls out of bounds. And a throw in. 30 minutes has ticked over now in this second quarter. 45 points is the margin. It's soaking wet in the van.
Werribee have not scored for the term.
They have not.
Hoppers have kicked 6.
6-6.
Tossed back in. Sullivan wins it. Ball is loose. Brown did really well. Got a handball that's stolen there by Lee. Handball goes inside 50. Galley did well. Took the bump. Got back up, but then he's going to be pinged for holding the ball. And a free kick will go to Cameron Lee.
Might be a good opportunity here for Werribee just to jag a late goal. The breeze has just dropped a little bit. Maybe we're in the eye of the storm, but Werribee have got it forward here. They'd love to just get one, just to give them something to hang on
so
with.
Desperate for a score. Trent Lee drives it to full forward. Ferrari does the defending there with the fist. Palmer crumbed it. Quick snap by Paddy out of nowhere.
Got it.
Is a goal much needed for the Tigers. Deep as you can probably be in the time on. Cuts the margin to 39 points. It is 2-5-17. Werribee Districts trailing Hoppers Crossing 8-8-56. 31 and a half played.
I wonder if anyone's got a blow dry we could borrow at half time to clean our sheets.
Fortunately, I don't need one of those with the state of my hair these days. But no, that was a very important goal there for Werribee. Just as I mentioned, they would have loved to have grabbed a late one just to give them something to go into half time with. And Paddy, a bit reminiscent of Jordan De Goey late in the game last night for Collingwood on the outside.
To bring up Collingwood
on the outside of the boot, just throwing it onto the boot and steering it through. And Werribee's still a long way adrift, but they won't be scoreless for the term. It will probably be the last score for the term, you'd think, or one of the last. So, that may give them something to go on with, given that they will have the breeze again in the third.
32 minutes gone in this second quarter. And that is half-time of a quarter. That was truly remarkable. 6 goals, 6 to Hoppers Crossing. It was unanswered until the last kick of the quarter. Jordan Paddy snared a late major for the Tigers. But it is the Warriors by 39 points at half-time. 8 goals, 8, 56 to 2 goals, 5, 17. We had a ridiculous storm come through halfway through that quarter, well, right towards the end. The rain came, the hail came, and, well, we weren't impervious to it in the caravan as well. We got pretty wet. Our sheets got pretty wet. At least we've got the iPad to keep the scores as well. Goal scorers in the opening half, 2 goals each to Brenton Payne and Daniel Stranick, who were both excellent. The rest, singles, Jackson Viola, Daniel Riosa, Riley Kitchen and Jordan Cook. While for the Tigers, Judah Dundon and Jordan Paddy are the only goal scorers. Half-time on Win FM, Pepe Cavalieri and Andrew Wilson calling the action alongside Kate. Well and truly out. In fact, we could do with some sunglasses in here, but that's all right. It is a 39-point lead to Hoppers Crossing at half-time as we get the third term underway. 8-8 to 2 goals, 5. What can the Tigers conjure? It has to start here, but they are going to lose the first centre clearance. Armstrong Western trundles a kick forward. Bucks, who's been busy, gets a high ball off half-back in the direction of Molavas, who was camped behind Lee, burst through, got it back to Molavas. Skies a ball towards centre half forward. Hamad's underneath. Well done by Galley. It spills short towards Paddy, who kicked the last goal, their second at the end of the second quarter. Stripped of the ball and then goes in and lays a tackle. And it's going to be a free kick to Oscar Junker, who was the initial player who laid the tackle, and he has won it at centre half forward. Mitch Palmer pleads with the umpire, who says, no, you made no legitimate attempt to get rid of it. So a shot at goal for Oscar Junker from a long way out.
He's taken the long run up. He's got the breeze at his back. Probably had some shorter options on if he'd moved a bit quicker, but he was certainly only of one mind, and that was to have a shot straight away. So
kicked 18 goals in the year, Oscar Junker. Normally a pretty good left foot shot at goal. Kicked a beauty last week from the boundary. Can he kick one when it matters most here? He didn't quite catch that one. It's working its way back. Did anyone touch that? I think they did. It's nicked the post on the way through, so it's a behind to the Tigers to start. They get it back to 38 points, but they're going to need more than behinds to give themselves a chance this afternoon. 2-6-18, Hoppers Crossing 8 goals, 8, 56.
Need to block it up here, make it difficult for Werribee to get the ball out.
So Ashland Brown kicks it down the wing. Coming up to meet it, there was Riosa, couldn't take the mark. Bursting through was Junker. Slips the hand pass forward towards Raznovsky. It's moved further afield. Trying to keep it in the field of play there is Ferrari, who's put the long sleeves on at the half-time break and sees it out of play 40 metres out from the Tigers' goal.
Something they've struggled to do all day, Werribee, just block it in their forward 50, get repeat forward entries, build pressure. Need to try and do that here.
2 played, third quarter. Umpire throws it back in. Junker in front, wins it down with the right hand. Ball spurs out the back. Houlihan got it to Palmer. Palmer's been really good this afternoon. Just gets a hurried kick out of defensive 50, but it's chopped off by Raznovsky. The Western Jets player marks right in front of the caravan here, Hogan's Road. Broadcast side of the ground he is. Goes inboard. Can they get a mark? There's just Warriors everywhere, and it's Ashland Brown, who has also been fantastic this afternoon as well.
He was helped there, though. The Molovas just slipped at the crucial moment. He was setting himself for the mark, and his feet went from under him.
It's very tough conditions for a little dinky kick, and almost went out of bounds on the floor, I think.
I think they've paid it.
It has. It just carried on the breeze, isn't it? Once that breeze got behind it. There's a bit of a chat going on between the boundary umpire and the field umpire. We've had a few of delays with the umpiring this afternoon, and they have awarded the free kick for on the full, and it's going to go the way of Trent Lee, who moves on quickly, kicks inside 50. Can they get a mark? In from behind, it's fisted away by Ferrari. A lot of players around this football. Molovas there, was it? It's Mould, actually. He's got it, and he's wrapped up. Junker, get third time lucky. And Junker's wrapped up in attack, and we'll get a ball up, 25 out from the Tigers' goal. Ferrari wins the hit out there. Ball still on the deck. Molovas has got it now. He always wants to get on his left side. He found the way. He gets a flying snap, but he didn't give it enough air, and it went near side and snuck in for a behind. So 2 straight behinds to start the third quarter for the Tigers. Cuts the lead from 39 at halftime back to 37. 8-8-56 Hoppers. Werribee Districts 2-7-19. 3 and 3/4 played. Third quarter.
Yeah, they could do with a bit more from Chris Molovas. He was pretty quiet in the first quarter. He's such a dangerous player. Can play tall, can play small. He's the sort of guy who really needs to stand up in these conditions.
From the kick in, the ball goes out in the Viola direction. Off his hands, goes out of bounds, and will get a throw in about 50 metres round from the Tigers' goal on the right forward pocket. It's Pepe struggling with his wet sheet. He's just not having a good afternoon at the moment now, he's Pepe.
This is a bit better from Werribee, though. Just building up pressure, making it hard for Hoppers to move the ball out of their defence.
From the throw-in, Pizzuto wins the footy, gives it over to Molovas, who shanked it off the outside of the boot. It's going to land at centre-half forward. Palmer gets onto the footy first, spins out of the Prismal tackle. Tigers still with the numbers at ground level. Mould and Seaweck battle manfully. It will be a stoppage. They've just got to guard against really blazing away the Tigers. They need to be a bit more methodical with their movement. It's what cost them in the first quarter. Down by 37 at the moment. They've kicked 2 behinds to start this third quarter, 5 minutes in. So we're 39 down at the half. They're now 37 adrift. So again, the umpire's going to have a word to the rucks for not following the rules or something, but they haven't stopped doing it. Yeah, I don't understand that anyway. Guy wins the clearance but was dispossessed. Tigers still able to work it forward. Handpass comes out towards Cameron Lee, who's going to be beaten to it. Had to put the body on Houlihan in the end. He was tackled there by Raznovsky. It was a good tackle.
He's been good, young Raznovsky. Certainly hasn't looked out of place at all. Obviously, he comes from the Jets, so he's got quality, but he's certainly looked up to it.
Yeah, he does have some size about him too, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's
for a young fella.
Not just a skinny kid, as that tackle then showed.
From the stoppage, it's won by Armstrong West, and Sullivan dived in to try to get the footy. Underneath was Shebeki, was brought to ground by Guy, who's been good for the Warriors. Little soccer forward for Hoppers crossing. McGuinness got in the way, couldn't gather it cleanly. Here's Napoleon White, who just tried to trundle it forward with his hands, and then it was taken by Palmer, who lost the footy, and they win the clearance through Mould. The Tigers up towards half forward, and it evades Hamad in front of his interchange bench. It will be thrown in.
It's a good start to the term for Werribee, but it's important they do get something on the scoreboard here. It'd be a real gut punch for them if, after all this early pressure, Hoppers get in over the back and get the first goal. That's the last thing they want.
6.5 played now, the third quarter. Thrown in. There's a whistle. Umpire gets involved again from the stoppage. Advantage paid. Pizzuto takes it. But it's a poor kick, chopped off by Galley at centre half back.
Disadvantage paid.
And he's in no hurry to move it. 8.56, Hoppers crossing Werribee Districts 2-7-19.
Just rolling with the punches a bit here, Hoppers, just absorbing the pressure.
Sits the ball out looking for Viola. He got hands to it. Shebeki, can he keep it in? He can't, as he's taken over the boundary line, and there's a bit of NHL jerseying there on his opponent there, Chase Guy, but nothing untoward in that at all.
Chase Guy's got the free kick.
Is that following the ball? Or for the?
I'm not sure, but
for the jumpering.
Daniel Shebeki and probably his father Tony won't be very happy with that. Tony was hanging around our box just a moment ago.
Former WRFL caller here on 88.9 Win FM, Tony Shebeki. Kick goes down the line for Viola. Was very close to the boundary line. Couldn't keep it in off his hands, and a throw in pretty much centre wing here at Hogan's Road Reserve, broadcast side of the ground, or the clubroom side of the ground here. It's a WRFL match of the day here on 88.9 Win FM. 37 points to the margin. Here's Pepe Cavalieri.
Sullivan reaches over the top of Armstrong Western, wins it down. Galley was first to it. He beat Dundon to it, but Dundon stripped him of the footy. But then Galley somehow broke free, took a bounce, trundles a kick forward. Coming up to meet it there is Payne. He was beaten to it, but then forced to lay the tackle on Scudamore. Really good work there by Brenton Payne to not let the Tigers escape. So they gain valuable meterage. Kicking into the wind, the Warriors will be balled up at centre half forward.
Yeah, good pressure there from the big key forward. It's all hands to the pump today for Hoppers crossing.
Shebeki wins the clearance for the Tigers, bundles it forward, and the mark's taken by his opposing captain, Ashland Brown. Delivers up to half forward. Shebeki again, it's captain to captain. He got the fist in the way. Scudamore roved the pack and he's given it straight up to Riley Kitchen. He could land a killer blow here. He went unselfish. It was chopped off by the Tigers inside 50. Armstrong Western gathers, snaps and misses to the right-hand side. That could have ended it all.
Yeah, that would have really stung Harley Armstrong Western. I talked about in the second term. He's the ruckman, but he's a very mobile one, and that was a beautiful bit of roving there, picking up with his bootlaces and very nearly steering it through.
8-9-57, Hoppers crossing Werribee District 2-7-19. Still yet to kick a goal in this second half. Only 2 for the day, and it's 9 minutes old. They've got to get moving. At right half back, they've turned it over again. Soccer off the ground by Muscat. It's bundling around close to the boundary line. He had to follow up his work. Had some help from Liam McMahon, but they escorted over the boundary line. Right in front of the truck that's full of past players here at Hoppers Crossing up at left half forward at the Hogan's Road end. They'll be pretty happy with what they're seeing so far. The Warriors are 38 points up.
Umpire throws it in. Short throw in. Rucks can't get to it. Umpire said play on. Pack forms, ball up. 9.5 played of this third quarter. 38 points to the margin on 88.9 Win FM. Andrew Wilson, Pepe Cavalieri and Cade Lucas. The umpire restarts play. Rucks again, can't get here. I've had a lot of that this afternoon. Houlihan with a hurry kick, gets it inside 50. Riley Kitchen, balks one, steadies on the right foot and goes... Misses.
Gee, you unwound too, Willow.
Well, I was ready to go then. But he hooked it near side.
It was a great effort, great skill under pressure.
Jeez, he moves like his brother though, doesn't he? Riley Kitchen. So 39 points to the margin in favour of the Warriors.
So the Tigers have moved it quickly to centre half back. Molovas, he's got a booming right foot. He's got a 50-metre penalty. Encroaching over the mark there against Hoppers. And he'll be within range here. Molovas, he'll like to unwind. Chase Guy is about 50 metres out from goal, the man on the mark.
Struggled to move the ball all day, the Tigers, so might as well get the umpire to move it for them. That'll help a bit. The breeze has died down a bit, so don't know if he'll be able to make the series a long way out, but as good an opportunity as Werribee have had in this term.
With a potentially waterlogged ball, can Molovas get the journey? He'll kick it from 55. He unwinds with the drop punt. That's got there easily. And it's a goal to the Tigers. It took 11 minutes, but it'll give them some sort of spark. Chris Molovas with his first goal. I've ravaged his name on the wet sheet, but I'll find room for a goal for his name. 3-7-25 the Tigers. Hoppers crossing 8-10-58, so it's back to 33 points. And still within touch if they're good enough, the Tigers, but they're going to need to slam home a fair few more goals before the quarter is out.
Well, they've kicked the last two, Werribee Districts, before half-time, and now this one from Molavas, great long kick, and that's the reward for effort. They've started this quarter well, haven't been able to put it on the scoreboard. Now they have. Need to follow this up, though, but that's not a bad start. They're looking much better than they have done.
Last two of the game for the Tigers, but they've only managed 3 for the afternoon. Sullivan wins it down, got it to Trent Lee, but he's dispossessed. The ball's in the mud pit now. It's going to be hard to get it out of there. So Palmer eventually gets it. Just gets a hurry kick to half forward, bounces over the head of Strenek and his opponent. The free kick goes against Strenek, so Scudamore charges, takes the advantage and charges off half back though, but kicked it only as far as Ashland Brown, who was met solidly there by Trent Lee. Ashland Brown slow to get up, but he's on his feet now. The kick goes to centre wing. Riley Kitchen takes the mark. He's got a player ahead of him there in Tricola, uses him, but they've turned it over though, have the Warriors. Trent Lee's got it now. He gets a hurry kick, handball forward and off, socket off the ground there by Bucks, but he kicked it straight to Houlihan, who marks on centre wing. He goes over the top and finds McMahon. Had Tricola with him, so a bit of space there for the Warriors. Breeze has died down a bit.
It has. It's really dropped compared to what it was.
McMahon goes to the pocket. It's a low ball looking for Viola, but it bounces in front of him, and we're going to throw in about 50 out from the Warriors' goal. They kick to the Hogan's Road end here in the third quarter. 8-10-58, the Warriors leading Werribee Districts 3-7-25. 33 points the margin here on 88.9 Win FM. Pep, you got your sheets ready?
Yep.
He's good.
They're drying out. The wind's helping.
All right, take it over, Pep.
From the throw-in, Sullivan thumps it forward with both hands. Hamad, he's going to be beaten to it. Not many people beat Hamad in a foot race, but the ball did on that occasion. Thrown in, just attacking side of the wing, clubroom side of the ground to the end. Hoppers crossing is attacking. 33
points of margin. What do you reckon they need to get it down to about 18 points at three-quarter time?
It's got to be, because the wind isn't as strong, if they can be within 3 goals, you never know what can happen if they play the game the right way in the last quarter. But it's got to be less than 20 points, you'd think. Unless there's a severe change in the weather.
It's doubtful. But blue skies in the distance.
It's looking like we might be done for the rain. God, you wouldn't rule it out. Wouldn't rule it out. There's going to be a ball up at left half forward. Rucks completely missed it. Cook palms it down. Stranik underneath. Hand pass 4 for the Tigers. Sullivan gets the footy. Didn't have enough time to get rid of it. He was stripped of the football. Still an opportunity for Hoppers crossing. Good tackling pressure in defence for the Tigers. They force another stoppage.
Look, the Tigers having a go here. Chris Gillam has certainly given them a rev up at half-time. Their tackling pressure is really up, but they need to get it on the outside. They can't just have an arm wrestle with Hoppers. They've got to score goals.
Stranik breaks free. It comes out to Mould. He was caught in the tackle, holding the ball. And that's, I would say, a fairly harsh call, given he didn't have it for very long, Josh Mould. And the man...
There's a bit of a scuffle going on behind play here too.
Liam McMahon will have the set shot.
And Hoppers players gone down. There's a few players going down here. This could get a little bit out of hand unless the umpire moves it on quickly.
It's McMahon, mate. He's got the 18 on.
Yeah, I apologise. Shot on goal, but there's a
bit muddy on the back.
Bit of a dust up on the mark.
The man on the mark is actually both teams trying to fight each other, and his kick was poor. It stays in the field of play. Is that high contact? It is. It's going to be a Hoppers crossing free kick, and it's going to be Riley Kitchen's ball, who did not take a backward step. Can he kick his second from here? It'll be a big one. Every goal they kick from here makes it awfully difficult.
This will just let a bit of the air out of the Werribee tyres if he kicks this.
It'll restore the half-time margin of 39 points. Oh, he skewed it out to the left. Might have been the unselfish play. Ryan Kitchen, his brother, has a go at it. He dumps his opponent in a tackle. And
free kick to
it
Rainbow.
Must have been a high tackle or an illegal tackle, no matter what.
But around the ground.
No, it's a ball. No, it's a ball up.
Tona by 10 points, apparently. Three-quarter time already.
That's gone quickly. Now it's going to be a Werribee Districts free kick. So a bit of confusion in defence. And he has to...
Now it's been reversed. What is going on?
Well, I'm not sure what that's for, but if that's for ill discipline or something, that's really poor for Werribee.
Umpire's signalling like the dangerous tackle. And now 50.
And 50.
Stranek's going to get his third.
A few heads being shaken out there. I'm not sure exactly anyone knows what's going on. It's a long way away for us to tell, but this will be really deflating for Werribee, giving away a goal like this.
I think Daniel Shebeki involved with that. He's coming straight to the bench. We'll have to keep an eye on Chris Gillen when he gets to the bench.
Yeah, Stranek kicks the goal. His third. He's been instrumental. They're 39 points clear again. It's 9-10-64 Hoppers Crossing. Werribee Districts 3-7-25. And there's still a bit going on down here, and all the players are flocking. Now what's going on?
Now there's a scuffle again. Daniel Shebeki's come off. I'm not sure if the free kick was paid against him or not.
But now there's another free kick.
He has cut a frustrated figure out there at times today, as have a few of the Werribee players.
Is it a shot at goal again to Hoppers now?
Well...
Yep.
It sure is. It's Stranek's again. He's going to kick another one.
The wheels are coming off here.
Well, we don't really know what's happening, but Stranek's been gifted 2 goals, and he's going to kick his 4th, and it's going to be 45 points.
Yeah. No, that's... this is just crucified Werribee. A bit of ill discipline. Couldn't afford it, and now it's pretty much going to shut the gate on them.
Yep. Stranek kicks number 4. And you can almost shut the gate on the Tigers' chances today. 45 points down, close to time on in the third quarter. 10-10-70 they are Hoppers Crossing, and they lead Werribee Districts 3-7-25. So just 30 seconds ago they were 33 points up, and a couple of
we don't know
ill-disciplined action. It looked like a reverse. It looked like a definite reversal the first time that gave Stranek the ball. He ended up being marched to the goal line with 50. He kicked the goal, and then instead of going back to the middle, they gave it back to Stranek again, and he kicked another. So they kicked 2 goals in 10 seconds, Hoppers Crossing, and pretty much that's all she wrote, you'd think.
And it's just wiped out all their good work to start this term. Chris Gillen will just be livid with that. It's unacceptable.
So it's an equal game high now, 45 points as play restarts. Ball goes in the middle. Lee tries to run away with it. He can't. Ball ends up in the hands of his teammate. Kicks inside 50. Loose ball. Can someone pick it up? It's going to be picked up by Galley, and he's slung over the boundary line by Pizzuto, and we'll get a ball up about 40 metres round from from the Tigers' goal in the right forward pocket. So at Grant Reserve between Altona and Spotswood is 34 plays 24 at 3/4 time.
This is a real test here for Werribee. It's probably damage limitation now, but they will likely have lost 2 in a row. It's really going to place some heavy question marks on them. How do they deal with it? From
the clearance, Warriors got it. Ends up though with Rainbow from the 50. He kicks a bomb that misses, goes across the face of goal through for 1 behind. So 44 points is the margin, with that behind there to Lockie Rainbow at the 19.5-minute mark of this third quarter. 44 points is the lead. Back-to-back goals to Daniel Stranek has really iced this game from ill discipline from the Tigers defenders.
There's also the issue of percentage. It's so tight.
Massive Kate.
They don't want to get blown out here. They want to kick a few more goals because such fine margins that can have an impact.
Out of defence by Hoppers Crossing. Jordan Cook just bundles it forward, trying to keep it in. He gathers it. Did it go out? No, said the umpire. Napoleon White gets the hand pass from Riosa, takes a bounce, does a little pirouette, and then kicks inside the 50. Can they get a jump at this? Payne back with a flight. Almost took the mark. Well done by Raznovsky out of defence for the Tigers. He lays it off by hand. The kick down the wing, searching for Prismal. He's going to get there. Was going to be claimed by Chase Guy as soon as he got it, so he slapped it forward. Back to a teammate.
Donnan
stubbed his toe, and now Guy gets onto it again. He works the 1-2 there, and he runs into a bit of trouble then. Tries to get it back towards Lucas Andrew. Tied up against the boundary on the outer side.
Dangerous tackle.
And has been a dumping tackle paid against the Tigers.
How about that pirouette from Napoleon White? Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah, that was pretty unreal.
To do that on a day like today, imagine how he'd go on a dry day. He's a very exciting player. Doesn't get a huge amount of it, but gee, when he does, he can be very damaging.
So Lucas Andrew kicks inside the 50. Riosa the target. It gets over the back. An opportunity for Kitchen. Payne picks up the footy. Tried to get it back to Riosa. They've pinged him for holding the ball against Payne. So the Tigers have it. It'll be Trent Lee from fullback. He goes backwards to Mould. Spears the pass to the bootlaces of Cameron Lee. Can't take the mark. In short, Trent Lee to Cameron Lee. And now down the wing in the direction of Hamad, but he let it for Seawack to gather, and then he gives it over the top to Dundon. He takes a bounce, has to kick a goal from here, and on the run from 40, he's missed. It's just a killer blow when you miss those chances. They missed plenty in the first quarter.
That was pretty clean cut. He did have a player looming from behind, but he had time to steady, and he did, and just missed to the far side.
Just didn't
those
execute.
fine margins, they've just, those 50-50 ones, they've just missed them today, Werribee, and it's cost them.
The ball's been retrieved now, so Ashland Brown to do the kick in. Got Lamar short, uses him. Just in the left back pocket, goes short as well. Again, over the top to Barbieri. Still inside defensive 50 with their first 2 kicks. But they lead by 43 points to the Warriors. It's going to be very tough to run down in the last quarter. So the kick goes towards the Tigers interchange bench. It's fisted over the boundary line for a throw-in.
They're just happy to slow things down a bit here, Hoppers, too, take a bit of the sting out of it. They've got, a match-winning lead. They've got the breeze in the last term. They don't want to suffer any injuries or anything. So it's about, I suppose, controlling this game to the final side.
Yeah, and keep the discipline down as well. I don't want any issues off the ball. So from the restart, the throwing goes over the top. It's picked up there by Palmer, who kicks it to half forward, but a good defensive mark is taken there by Reznovsky. He moves it on quickly, finds Rainbow. He marks, runs past the Caravan, now goes inside 50. Can they get a mark? Goes over the head of Caleb Sullivan. Bouncing ball goes into the pocket. Junkers there. Riley Kitchens there, and a couple of others there. Ethan Henley, one of them. And Chris Mollivis, and the ball goes out of bounds. A throw in 20 metres round from the right behind post as the Blues lead by 13 points, midway through the final quarter.
Oh, he's still Willow's beating heart. Oh.
In T, we trust.
And the Hawks are up 2, and Collingwood won last night. It could be a trifecta for us.
That would never happen in this box because Carlton never win.
Shebeki wins the clearance for the Tigers. He hooks it out of nowhere. This is going to land in a dangerous spot for Werribee Districts. Still in the pocket. Molovas gives it back towards Pizzuto, back towards Dundon, snaps, misses. And has your iPad lost its battery?
It has.
Dear me, you weren't prepared.
You passed
It wasn't.
Yeah, no worries.
It's not the water it got on it.
No, I reckon. I think I had the Bureau of Meteorology running in the background. It might have just sucked some life out of it.
One of those days, folks.
42 points the lead to Hoppers. Long ball out of defence by Ashland Brown. Viola leapt from the back and saw it out of play.
I think how technology goes from full to 0 in a matter of seconds.
It's Apple for you. No, we're not advertising on community radio. They need to work on their charging equipment. From the throw-in, about 70 metres out from the Tigers' goal, trying to salvage something from the wreck. Seawack wins the clearance, hacks it inside the 50. Good courage shown by Galley, with a charging Sullivan coming his way. He intercepts.
One of the toughest things to do in footy, take a mark over the shoulder, running back into the pack. Galley,
no hurry to move it. Kicks it outside defensive 50. Armstrong Weston's going to fly as a big fist there, goes back inboard. Napoleon White runs onto it. Can he pick it up? He can't, and then he was almost taken out there by McGuinness. Loose ball though. Napoleon White came in to lay some pressure though. Warriors again still continuing the gang tackling, and they forced a stoppage on the edge of the centre square, right on centre wing. Shebeki wrapped up in that tackle there, and we'll get a ball up. 25 and a half minutes played. Junker tried to do the roving. And we'll get another ball up with the tackle there on Muscat. Daniel Stranak, 4 goals, got 2 this quarter from 50 metre, from ill-disciplined by the Tigers, back-to-back goals, but the clearance goes the way of the Warriors from the stoppage. Muscat's kick smothered. Seawet can't hold on to the ball. Guy comes in, lays a strong tackle, and coming in to help there was Stranack, and we'll get a ball up at centre half forward for the Warriors, kicking to the Hogan's Road end here in his third quarter. It's 10-10-70 to 3-10-28. 26 minutes now gone of this third quarter. Armstrong Western with the left hand. Couldn't control it though, but the Warriors are going to get possession again. They link by hand. Barbieri's kick slews off the side of the boot, rolls towards the boundary line on the outer side. About 20 metres round from the Warriors interchange bench. So right half forward at Hogan's Road. Andrew Wilson, Pepper Cavalieri and Cade Lucas on 88.9 Win FM. 90.1 for the undelayed feed if you're at the ground.
And right half forward for Hoppers Crossing. Sullivan and Riosa do the ruck. Neither had a meaningful touch. Lee of the Cameron variety wins the footy. He gives it over the top to his teammate who bursts through the middle, kicks out towards the wing. No one in particular in mind. And then he hits the only Hoppers player in sight in Andrew, who won it against 3 Tigers. He dinks a little kick over the top. McMahon tried to bounce off an opponent. Had to give it back towards Tricola, who was hemmed in against the boundary line. Well done by Cam Lee.
Trent.
And then he was escorted out. Sorry, Willow. Trent.
Been some pretty big hits in this game. Even though the sting has gone out of it a bit, both sides still cracking in very hard. And there's I think it's Tricola who's down. He's got a bit of cramp or maybe a corky or something.
The trainer tends to him and the umpire throws it in. There in the ruck was Riosa. Just claimed it, didn't really do anything with it. Lee gets the football. It's a little kick out to the side and it bounces away from his brother and over the boundary line. Right near our commentary position here at Hogan's Road Reserve. Hoppers Crossing 10-10-70. Werribee Districts 3 goals 10-28. We're close to three-quarter time here. And the Tigers' top 5 hopes are hanging by a thread at the moment. They might be out by the end of the round. We'll have to wait and see. Get the calculator out. Lee caught in the tackle. Maybe a touch high, but the umpire blindsided. There'll be a ball up. So they go again. Riosa wins the tap, opposed to Sullivan. Hamad charges through, wins the football. Claimed in the tackle by Barbieri. Not going anywhere.
5 points to margin at Altona, 5-5-35. The Vikings lead the Woodsman 4-6-30. Umpire restarts play. Riosa wins it with the right hand. Trent Lee lays the tackle. Umpire come and ball up on centre wing. About 10 metres in from the boundary line. So 28 and a half minutes has ticked over. 43 points to the lead. It's play restarts. And again, another ball up. Clock start. Riosa wins it, goes towards the boundary line, and it rolls over. And we'll do have another stoppage at the 29-minute mark.
Both teams just going through the motions here at the end of this term. It's almost hard to believe we're at the same venue that we experienced that blizzard in at the end of the second term. It's quite bright sunshine now.
Palmer does really well, gets the clearance, the left foot kick, tumbles inside 50. Stranack at pace, runs onto it, somehow gets onto his left boot, but he's too hard up against the boundary line, misses the lot. Near side, out of bounds on the full. Free kick will go the way of the Tigers in the right back pocket. 3-9-27, 3-10-28, Werribee Districts trailing Hoppers 10-10-70.
Here's an opportunity for Shebeki. Front and centre, wins the football, kicks the Tigers up to half forward. Had to gather a difficult bouncing ball, did Junker, and then he mucked it up. Ashland Brown comes in and wins the footy for the Warriors. His kick was a little too strong for Guy. Coming in to help him out there was Jordan Cook. It's 2 against 1, and in the end, losing out there was Ben Morton for the Tigers, and they can go 40. Hoppers Crossing. They did really well there, but the siren beats them, and the play is stalled on the outer wing. It's three-quarter time at Hogan's Road Reserve in Hoppers Crossing. The Warriors did what they had to do in that quarter. 10-10-70, 42-point leaders over Werribee Districts, 3 goals, 10-28. So kicking into the wind again, they win the term by a couple of points to grow what was a 39-point half-time advantage 52-42 at the final change, and it was highlighted by 10 seconds of a big 10-second brain fade, basically, by the Tigers. They'd kicked the only goal of the quarter to get within 33 points and gave themselves half a sniff if they could go on and kick a couple more, but some ill-disciplined acts, a 50-metre penalty and a goal to Daniel Stranick, and then he was pretty much given another goal instantly after instead of going back to the centre bounce. So he went in and kicked his fourth, and, well, it pretty much unravelled from there. So 10-10-70 Hoppers Crossing, Werribee Districts, 3 goals, 10-28. Plenty of goal scorers for the Warriors, as I mentioned. Stranick's kicked 4, 2 each to Brenton Payne, rather, and the rest singles. Jackson Viola, Daniel Riosa, Riley Kitchen and Jordan Cook, while for the Tigers all singles, Chris Molovas, Judah Dundon and Jordan Paddy. So 3/4 time from Hogan's Road Reserve. Pepe Cavalieri and Andrew Wilson calling the action with you alongside Cade Lucas on 88.9 to Win FM. Remember, if you're at the ground, you can tune into the unbuffeted feed, undelayed feed on 90.1. So 1/4 to play in Hoppers Crossing. It's the Warriors who are looking to get back into the 5. They lead Werribee Districts by 42 points.
You are listening to the WRFL Match of the Day, thanks to Bridgestone Tyre and Auto Service Centres, St Albans and Hoppers Crossing, proud sponsors of the WRFL and 88.9 Win FM. Victoria University want you to follow your passion and excel in the industry you've always dreamed of. Being a dual sector university means that VU students can easily pathway from vocational education to higher education. VU is one of Australia's most industry-connected institutions and are one of the top 2% universities in the world. You'll learn from leading industry professionals who combine theory with practice to prepare you for your career from day one. To find out more, visit www.vu.edu.au. Victoria University are proud sponsors of the WRFL and 88.9 Win FM. Are you interested in becoming a carpenter? Get trade qualified at the Trade Institute of Victoria. Enrol now in the Certificate 3 in Carpentry course. You may even be eligible for government funding. Check out www.tov.vic.edu.au. TOV are proud sponsors of the WRFL and Community Radio Win FM. While you're listening to this WRFL Match of the Day broadcast, you can check out the scores at other games on WRFL Live on your smartphone. If you haven't got the WRFL Live app, it's easy. Go to the WRFL's website, click on Media, then the WRFL Live app, and follow the simple steps. WRFL Live, proud sponsors of 88.9 Win FM.
Bridgestone means confidence, and that's how you'll feel about your car after visiting Bridgestone's Tyre and Service Centres St Albans and Hoppers Crossing. Whether it's new wheels or mechanical repairs for your sedan, performance vehicle or four-wheel drive, Bridgestone's Tyre and Service Centres St Albans and Hoppers Crossing will keep your family safe and on the move. Bridgestone's Tyre and Service Centres St Albans and Hoppers Crossing. Now that's confidence. Visit us online at bridgestone.com.au.
Proud supporters of 88.9 Win FM.
You are listening to the WRFL Match of the Day, thanks to Bridgestone Tyre and Auto Service Centres, St Albans and Hoppers Crossing, proud sponsors of the WRFL and 88.9 Win FM.
If you're only kicking points with your current home loan, find out how to kick goals with a Rams home loan. Arrange a chat with a local Rams home loan representative by clicking on the Rams logo on the WRFL website. Rams are proud sponsors of the WRFL and 88.9 Win FM.
Working as a tradie and want to secure your future as a registered builder? Trade Institute of Victoria offers Certificate 4 and Diploma in Building and Construction, providing you a pathway to become a registered builder. You may even be eligible for government funding. Check out www.tov.vic.edu.au. TOV, proud sponsors of the WRFL and 88.9 Win FM. Did you know that Routley's Bakery has been providing fresh pastries to the western suburbs of Melbourne and beyond since 1947? Routley's now has a number of outlets in the west, including Altona, Newport and Williamstown. Routley's have an extensive range of products in addition to their delicious pies, pasties and sausage rolls, which you can buy at your local footy match, as Routley's are the preferred pastry supplier to the WRFL. Routley's, proud sponsors of the WRFL and 88.9 Win FM. While you're listening to this WRFL Match of the Day broadcast, you can check out the scores at other games on WRFL Live on your smartphone. If you haven't got the WRFL Live app, it's easy. Go to the WRFL's website, click on Media, then the WRFL Live app, and follow the simple steps. WRFL Live, proud sponsors of 88.9 Win FM.
Welcome back. Three-quarter time at Hogan's Road Reserve. It is a 42-point lead to the Warriors at the final change. 10-10-70 over Werribee Districts. 3 goals, 10-28. They led by 3 at the first change, 39 at the half, and 42 with just 30 minutes to play. We'll get some around the ground scores shortly, but Andrew Wilson was at the huddles. Willow.
When the Hoppers, Steve Critic obviously very, very happy with what he saw. Really wrapped with the pressure they provided all that quarter and very happy. Wants to continue on, obviously, in that last quarter. Chris Giller normally, he's a very happy man normally, very positive. He has let him know about it, about that ill discipline they showed there when Daniel Strannett kicked the back-to-back goals. Very animated towards the group, and he expects a lot better performance in this final quarter. Felt there was a little bit of, a bit of selfishness by some individuals out there that to get it off their chest, they would knock someone over, and then obviously it doesn't just affect him, it affects the whole team, and so very, very disappointed. Chris Gillen there as well.
10-82. Yarraville Seddon still leads Parkside, and as well, it's a lead to Wyndham Vale over Point Cook Centrals as we get the final term underway here at Hogan's Road Reserve, and there's going to be a secondary bounce. No, there isn't. It's extricated right at the last moment. Kick inside the 50, picked up by Jordan Cook. He laid it off to an opponent and is picked off by Cameron Lee in the end, who wins a free kick for a high tackle.
Hoppers players
right half back.
I think it might be it's Ferrari with a shoulder.
And there's also a player down in the middle.
Behind play too in the middle of the ground. So,
that's Rainbow.
Actually, no, it's not Ferrari. It's Kitchen, Riley Kitchen, who looks hurt for Hoppers. So that's a big blow if he can't come back and if he's out longer, maybe.
So the Tigers through Rainbow into the middle for Mollabas, and his kick just hung in the air for too long. And then a strong mark in defence to Ethan Henley. Looks to share it out wide. Finds his captain in Ashland Brown, who's been very good. 10-10 plays 3-10.
Big quarter this for Werribee. The game's beyond them, but they've got to hang tough. They've got to avoid getting blown out. Percentage is important, and it's important for their belief and confidence going forward too.
Riley Kitchen, who you mentioned, might have been a little bit hurt, comes back into the fray and does well there, so he looks okay. Kick up towards half forward. Opportunity for Viola. Had it fisted away from him by Sullivan. It's picked off here by Cook. He kicks inside the 50. Beautiful pass. Riosa on the lead.
Said Kitchen looks okay. Same can't be said for Rainbow, who's coming off in the hands of the trainers for Werribee. He looks a bit groggy. I doubt we'll see him back.
No, not good news.
As Hoppers line up for their first goal of this final term. This is a bit worrying for Werribee. They're already well down, 42 points. They don't want to get blown out, but a goal here may start that.
Daniel Riosa from directly in front. Lets that one get away from him, just across the face. Misses to the right. And 1 goal, 1 for him today, Daniel Riosa. 7 goals on the season. 10-11-71, Hoppers Crossing, Werribee Districts 3-10-28. 2 minutes gone of the last quarter. So the Tigers, I think their main objective here, if not to win the game, is to limit the damage they have to their percentage, because that's going to play a part at the end of the year, as you guys mentioned, in that third quarter. There's been a free kick. It's going against Cameron Lee to Hoppers Crossing. They get inside 50 again, and Houlihan takes the mark. Sorry, McMahon in front of Houlihan. He'll kick from about 48 metres out, and the tunes have started already at the clubhouse.
Yes, I think there's a game on after this. I saw at the break there was teams.
There is. The under-18 ones are playing after this game.
Right. So what was it, the under-18 junior?
Twos, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Both have big junior programs, so obviously enough for two under-18 sides.
So Liam McMahon hasn't kicked a goal this afternoon, just the 2 for the season. He conjures something from the 50 at centre half forward. The right foot drop punt. He struck it pretty well, and it's going to make the journey, no stress. They're 11th on the day, Hoppers Crossing, and they close in on a 50-point lead. They're 49 clear at the moment, 11-11 to 3 goals 10. His first, McMahon, their 7th individual goal kicker of the afternoon.
Well, that's just what Werribee didn't want to start this final term. Hoppers are with the breeze. It's not as strong as it was earlier, but it's still there. And they've got an early goal. We've only gone 3.5 minutes and they've already got a goal on the board to push the margin out to 49 points. And they won't want to concede too many more because, as we said, percentage is important, but also belief and confidence, and they can take a real battering here in this final term.
The Tigers get the clearance through Shebeki, but Ryan Kitchen works his opponent under the ball. And he's actually been pinged for in the back. So free kick will go to Judah Dundon. 50 from goal.
Might have a ping, the breeze has dropped a bit.
Yeah, it's still going to be tough to score though. Goes with a low ball inside 50, goes through about 4 sets of hands. Finally Seawick runs onto it, handballs to Junker, and he's wrapped up in the tackle. Well, somehow the ball is kicked out into space, and it's a beautiful centering kick in the end, and Lee takes the mark.
Well, that's an example of what they haven't been able to do enough today, Werribee. They forced the ball in their forward 50 there. With some strong tackling, they kept it inside the boundary. They stopped Hoppers getting away with it. Then a good centering kick by Seawick. Spotted his teammate in a goal-scoring position. They just haven't been able to manufacture opportunities like this enough.
Yeah, Cam Lee it is. Hasn't scored this afternoon. We've got the disco going on in the background. And Cam Lee splits the middle.
Yeah, they really are pumping up the jam out there, Willow Moon. We might have to get in there later on. Well, that's a positive fight back there for Werribee, answering that early goal from Hoppers. And that's just what they've got to try and do in this final term. Again, the game has gone its damage limitation, but they've just got to, think about next week. Next week's game starts now. They've just got to fight this out, try to keep the margin as low as they can, maybe win the quarter if possible, and give themselves something to hang on to going into next week, because otherwise it's been a pretty disappointing day at the office.
Haven't won a quarter. They've only managed a goal a quarter so far, just one in the first, second, third and fourth now, so hasn't been a great afternoon. 4 goals, 10-28. Werribee Districts trail Hoppers 11-11-77, 43 points the margin. As we go from the restart, ball is pushed forward by Hoppers Crossing just inside the centre square, but they've given away a free kick, so away go the Tigers. It's Camley with the clearing kick to half forward, looking for Caleb Sullivan. He picks the ball up, handballs back to Hamad, who goes back in the Trent Lee. Still a couple of kicks from goal at half forward, pokes it over the top to Molovas.
Probably a bit too far out to score still.
Yeah,
but,
still 2 kicks from home, Cade.
Opportunities opening up now. The game has probably dropped in intensity. Players a bit tired.
Squares it to McGuinness. And there's still 2 kicks from home. He goes out even wider looking for Bucks. They might have turned it over. The ball goes towards the scoreboard and the boundary line. Bucks picks it up, swings around on his right boot. Somehow got it back into play. Goes to full forward. Junker's there. Couldn't take the mark. Can he pick it up? Ferrari's there with him. Junker soccers off the ground. Goes across the face of goal. No score. Guy runs onto it. Can he pick it up? Can he need some help? And he gets some help there from Galley from half back. And he bombs it out in the space. Running onto it. Napoleon White. We'll hope we can get some space and hopefully he can pick it up. Show some magic. He gathers, shrugs, one tackle. Gets a handball the way backwards. They link by hand. Now it's with McMahon. Napoleon White pushes forward. He's ignored. Goes for the ball, but I think there's a downfield free kick and it's going to go to the way of Rioza.
Again, just a lack of discipline there from Werribee that could cost them. I think it might have been the young fella Raznovsky, is it?
Maybe Mould it would have been. I think Raznovsky's too far.
Raznovsky's on the mark though, I think, so either way, giving away free kicks in these sort of positions, it's cost them this afternoon, Werribee.
So Rioza just kicks it to the hot spot, coming in from the side, and the mark has been taken there by Brenton Payne, uncontested in the end.
Well, Sullivan came for it, but I don't know whether Payne was just closer or Sullivan sort of shirked the contact, but Payne outmarked him, as he has done a few times today.
So Payne's taken the mark 20 metres out directly in front, comes in, kicks on its way, it's a goal. 3 to Payne on the afternoon. 49 points is the margin, but all the pain is going to be with the Werribee Districts Football Club, as they are not going to get the 4 points this afternoon. 8 played, 49-point margin in favour of the Warriors.
Yes, digging deep into your bag of puns there, Willow. Great stuff. No, you're certainly correct. Good goal there from Payne, who's battled pretty well today in conditions that won't have suited him. but he's certainly been a very good contributor. He's chased and hassled and tackled a lot, which has been impressive, because that's not the reason he's in the side. He's not a small crumbing forward who's there to put on pressure, but he certainly has contributed in that department, and he's also taken some nice marks and kicked goals. So he's been one of many good contributors today for the Warriors.
12-11-83, Hoppers Crossing, Werribee Districts 4-10-34. So back in the middle, 9 minutes gone of this last quarter. The Tigers win the clearance up to half forward. It was batted away from Donnan, who was in front position. Opportunity at half-back here for Galley, who gives it forward to the play to McMahon, and now a sweeping hand pass into space for Palmer, who dinks a kick forward. Opportunity for Payne, has to go down and pick it up. He does, gets it back to Palmer, who was the one who put it forward. Kicks inside the 50. Diving in there was Kitchen. It comes to Stranig, who snaps to the teeth of goal. Riosa's there, but it slams into the behind post on the full. Out of bounds on the full. It'll be a free kick to Werribee Districts deep in defence.
Altona by a point.
Yes,
final score.
I did get that message. Yes. Krasnovsky gets the footy, chips it short to Molovas. Sweeps the ball out of defence on the head of Lee, who had to wait a long time for it. Brown came in and knocked it out of bounds.
Hindsight's a wonderful thing, but maybe we should have chosen the Altona spot to okay.
It's interesting. I got a message from Kristen a moment ago, and I sent her the exact same thing back, but you couldn't have known.
No.
So Altona will go again clear of top in Division 1.
Is that a final score, or is that
final score. Finished very early. We're only 10 minutes into the last quarter here.
Galley gets a kick inside 50, and a good one-handed mark there. Cook has got it.
Oh, no, it's not Cook.
No?
Houlihan, I think.
We'll wait till he turns around, Pip.
I think it is Houlihan there. Cook is 19.
It is. Yeah, so Houlihan's got it.
They're pretty easy to mix up, those two. They're both similar size, same hair colour. Both have been pretty good players today for Hoppers, particularly Cook early on. So
Houlihan hasn't scored this afternoon. He's going to kick from about 35-40 metres on a 45-degree angle to the One Tree Hill end. Breeze has certainly died down a lot as he comes in now. Houlihan kick is beautiful, straight through the middle. 55-point lead to the Warriors. 13-11-89 to 4-10-30. 11 played. Final quarter on our WRFL match of the day here on 88.9 Win FM Cade.
Yeah, this is just what Werribee didn't want, but they seem a bit powerless to stop it now. Hopper's just kicking goals easily, and it's now 55 points. I wouldn't be surprised if it gets beyond 10 goals, and that's really going to be worrying for Chris Gillam and his Brains Trust. How do they turn this around? Because it's almost a mini slump now. Lost last week to Altona, and now what's looming is a pretty bad loss away from home to Hoppers.
Certainly right, Cade. A lot of work to do in a big game next week, obviously, as well, against St Albans. So it doesn't get any easier for Werribee Districts, and that almost becomes the equivalent of last week's Hoppers Crossing St Albans game. Anyway, Hoppers again extricated. Riley Kitchen, Chase Guy running by, who's been very good today. Gets it away in the nick of time, up in the Stranick direction, who's kicked 4 goals. He was tackled, stood up with the football, tried to paddle it back towards Cook, but Caleb Sullivan came up with it. Bucks escaped with the football, but kicked blindly up to the wing, and it was intercepted by Ryan Kitchen, who goes backwards to his captain in Ashland Brown, who wants to switch the play. Hangs in the air for a moment. Galley had to jump up, but it spilt free and favourably for him. He runs into a brick wall there in Cam Lee, but spills it out. It comes to the direction of Houlihan, who kicks up towards half forward. McMahon, the goal kicker a moment ago, went up, couldn't take the mark, had to give it to Guy, back to McMahon, shrugged the tackle of Seaware, kicks inside the 50, and it's just a little too strong for Riley Kitchen. It'll be thrown in. What are you laughing at, Willow?
Interesting that St Albans game.
Yeah, McMahon's and your Houlihan's were completely the wrong way around.
No, don't worry about it.
That was it. That's funny.
Interesting that St Albans game you're talking about.
You're right.
That Werribee have. It's at home for Werribee, which you'd normally think was a good thing, but given their record at home, it's probably even more daunting. As the doof really cranks up. We're going to have to get over there later, guys.
Get the glow sticks out, throw it in the right forward pocket. There's a free kick for holding. Free kick's going to go the way of the Tigers. Advantage has been paid. Molivas ran into a lot of trouble. Seawick got a handball to Johnson, and then Johnson's kick was smothered. Seawick got it, handballed forward to Shebeki. They run out of defence. Shebeki goes inboard to grab a kick. Paddy picks up on the bounce. Had Seawick running past, ignored him. Went the kick to Trent Lee. Marks on centre wing. Went the handball over top looking for Shebeki, but his handball was knocked down by Ferrari. But Lee did really well. Got the handball over the Paddy. Kept running. Paddy breaks one tackle, but not the second. No, free kick high.
Well, that helps when you're about 4'0". You do get a few high tackles, as you know, Peppy.
Yep. He chipped over the top to his captain, Shebeki. He's got Trent Lee forward of the ball, runs into some space, kicked the low ball looking for his brother, but bounced it at his feet. But Cam did really well. Had time to wheel onto his right foot, kicks towards goal, goes across the face. It's still in play. A lot of players around this ball. I think we're going to get a stoppage inside the goal square, and we are. As Peppy, he's just getting up and about with this music. He's having a good time. We might leave him tonight. I mean, out here, and he can party all afternoon from the restart. It's the Warriors with the clearance, a high ball. It's tall versus the short. Paddy almost won out against Ferrari. Ball goes inboard. Sullivan picked it up. Paddy hang out nicely. Handball back in towards Shebeki on his left side. Got around one. Didn't know there was a player behind him. And he's been pinged for holding the ball.
And that's right.
And the past players let him know all about it.
Yes, they'll be giving him some choice advice. He's had a tough day at the office, Daniel Shebeki. Not much has gone right for him. He's shown a bit of frustration. He'll be wanting to forget this game pretty quick.
So Breton Payne, a long way from home, kicks up towards half-back for Hoppers Crossing. It's chopped off. It falls into the lap there of Lee. That was of the Trent variety. Gives it over the top. Prismal an opportunity. Cameron runs into a strong tackle. He was taken high. He'll win a free kick for it. Set shot from about 45 metres out. Not many consolations to be found today for Werribee Districts. They've been far from their best.
Are they preparing for a football game, or are they having an aerobics class or something?
They could have had water aerobics earlier the way it was raining. Cameron Lee, a goal today, 22 on the season, and he had a second. And a fifth for the day for the Tigers. It's not his best kick, but it's curling late. Didn't curl enough. A minor score. 4-11-35 Werribee Districts. Well off the pace of Hoppers Crossing. 13-11-89. It's a 54-point ball game and even 9 goals. As the Tigers, as the Warriors bring it in rather, but they kind of made a bit of a mess of it. Chase Guy and Jordan Cook doing well there. It ends up coming back to Guy, whose kick was rushed and skewed and out of bounds on the full. And it's going to be a free kick to Werribee Districts at left half forward. And it's going to be Judah Dundon to take the free kick. He's a long way out.
Big Will Sullivan comes off in front of us. He's battled pretty hard in the ruck today.
Dundon sets it to the teeth of goal. Up they fly, it gets towards the back. Snap towards goal. And they do get a consolation.
Jordan Paddy.
The Tigers. Jordan Paddy. Been a bit of a lone hand down there. His second. 5-11-41 to 13-11-89.
Yeah, he's battled hard today, Jordan Paddy. He certainly hasn't been their worst. A few of their other Mosquito Flit, the Lee brothers, they've been okay, but you go beyond them and there's not too many others who can say they've really played a strong 4 quarters, and they've just really lacked a really potent forward target up there. You know, Molivas has been well held. Yunka hasn't had a good day. They've really missed Panai. Yeah, they've just had a bad day at the office all around Werribee, and it's probably best just to put this one behind them, forget about it and move on. There's not too much they can get out of this game.
Back in the middle, Palmer looks to get the clearance. He has a couple of cracks at it. Eventually got a kick away. It's a tumbling ball rolling to half forward, still inside the centre square. 2 players collided and they meet well. And it's well played by both players. One with the ball, the other laid the strong tackle and we'll get the ball up. Left half forward, still inside the centre square as the Warriors look to attack in this final quarter from the restart. Rioza wins the hit out. Clearance goes the way of the Tigers. It goes in the Molivas direction. Couldn't take the mark. Seawick gathers. Got Lee running past. Looped a beautiful handball over the top to Trent Lee. Goes inboard. It's Paddy there. Gathers on the bounce. Can he get another one? No, he's unselfish. Kicks a short ball to Trent Lee. So Cam Lee, and he kicks from the goal line, and it's back-to-back goals for the Tigers. And the margin is 42 points and even 7 goals. 13-11-89. Hoppers Crossing, Werribee District 6-11-47. 18 now gone of this final quarter.
Conditions are very benign now. That looks like the last of that crazy weather has left us. It's probably come at the wrong time for Werribee. Had they had these sort of conditions earlier in the game, it might have suited them a bit better. But the definitely Hoppers got a bit of a helping hand with the breeze. It certainly was strongest when they were kicking with it.
Certainly was. And they took full advantage. Back in the middle, Junker moved into the ruck, wins it down, but Riosa gets the crumbs, kicks inside the 50. Armstrong Western had a good piece of it, but wasn't paid the mark. Mould gathers on the bounce and delivers forward to the wing for the Tigers over the head of Molavas. Lee gets onto the loose ball. Hand pass intercepted by Guy. He was claimed in the tackle. Tigers still get another go at it. Scudamore escapes. Goes through the middle. Quick hands from Donnan to Lee of the Trent variety. Out wide towards Pizzuto at right half 40. Kicks inside 50. Paddy presents. Couldn't take the mark. Wins his own footy again from the right forward pocket. Caught the second time, and Pink for holding the ball under the scoreboard. Good persistence by the Warriors. And they try to move it on quickly, but it's going to have to come back. Tomsey's favourite rule. They didn't go back behind the mark. So the Warriors, as we near time on in the last quarter, 42 points up. 13-11-89 to 6-11-47. There is a 1 point discrepancy between our scoreboard and the one across the other side of the ground. Just have to wait and see what the umpires decide at the end of the game, but it's going to have no effect on the final result, Willow.
So the Warriors have switched it. Ends up now with Galley at right half back. No hurry to move it. Still looking for options. So eventually goes long down the line in the Riosa direction. No player got to the contest. Strenek did really well there. Had Kitchen running past, but ignored him. Kicked it to centre half forward. Mark was dropped down there by Viola. Now picked up by Sullivan, and he's wrapped up in a tackle at centre half forward for the Warriors, and we'll get a ball up. 20 and a half gone. 42 points the margin. Toss back up now. Sullivan reaches over the top. But only as far as Kitchen, his kick smothered. Lee runs onto it. It's got Shebeki out wide. Handballs it to him. He's looking for options on his left side. Did really well. Pinged a short ball in there to Cam Lee, who handballs to his brother Trent. Running past now goes to Paddy. The three small players combined. Paddy now. 2 kicks from goal still. Shorts one inside 50. Sits it on the head of his teammate there in Seawack. The Seawack now crumbs the ball. He's wrapped up in a strong tackle straight away. Looking for Hamad, but Hamad's wrapped up in a tackle. Well, now we'll get that ball up. 35 out from the Tigers' goal. 21 and a quarter minutes now gone. Final quarter. It's going to be a fantastic win here for the Warriors as they get the clearance. It's a high ball. It's just going to get out of side of defensive 50. Standing under it, there was Strenek. Had it fisted away from Bucks. Ball still on the ground. Strenek now paddles it towards himself. Really nicely done though. Napoleon White put it into space. Now he runs onto it. The young fella gets the centre wing. Kicks it to half forward. Went looking there for Payne, couldn't quite hit the target. Now they run out of defence. McGuinness has got it for the Tigers. Handballs forward to Mould. He kicks it out wide. So Mould up towards half forward. It was ill-directed. He was searching for Hamad, but it was chopped off. Through the middle again now for McMahon. At centre half back for the Warriors. Goes out wide to Houlihan. Got it right that time, Willow. Sing my praises. Payne takes the mark at left half forward. He's a long way from home. He kicks to the teeth of goal. One out. Kitchen's there. How's he going to read the flight of the football? Sullivan did pretty well. Oh, Kitchen got onto the ball. Oh, and it was tapped over the line by Bucks at the last moment, who got a meaningful fingernail smother in there. Would have been a very good goal from Riley Kitchen against a much bigger opponent. 13-12-90 Hoppers Crossing. 6-11-47 Werribee Districts. Couple of kicks out of defence. And now out to the wing, searching for Molavas. Fingertip save there by Henley. Gathered by Seawack over the back.
Kept his arms free, gives it to his captain in Shebeki. Lowers the eyes up towards Lee at half forward. Picks up the footy. Bursts free. Can he finish with a goal? He wobbles a punt inside 50. Hamad gathers. Hamad goals. It was a good passage of play from Werribee Districts. But of course, it's too little, too late. Naif Hamad kicks his first of the afternoon. The margin is 37. 13-12-90 the Warriors. The Tigers 7-11-53. 23 minutes gone of the last quarter.
Look, and they needed that just to get a couple of late goals to get the margin, back below 50 points. 37 points is a lot better than 54 or 60 plus, which it looked like being a few moments ago. And guys like Trent Lee and also his brother who was involved there. Cameron Lee, sorry. Apologies to their mum. And Naif Hamad who got the goal. Good to see them getting on the scoreboard late in the game, but gee, it would have been good to see them contributing like that earlier on.
Yeah, Tigers with the last three of the game. Is going to go the way of the Warriors. Houlihan found McMahon, and he gets the clearance and it's going to roll towards the 50 on the outer side there. Trying to pick it up there was Tricola. He couldn't, and the boundary line wins out, and they throw in probably about 60 metres round from the Warriors' goal on the outer side here at Hogan's Road.
How about this weather, eh? Before we were getting inundated with rain in the box, and now the sun is right in our eyes and we can barely see the game.
He's blinding.
Climate change isn't happening.
It's just the sun setting in it. So toss back in. Sullivan wins it. There's a tackle. Umpire's going to come and ball up.
It's worse than before, Willow.
What, the sunset?
Yeah, affected by climate change.
Toss back up. Houlihan's wrapped up in the tackle. Got a quick handball away to Muscat. Muscat tumbles one forward, but Mould's in the way for the Tigers. He gathers, and he gets a clearing kick out of defensive 50. Off hands, though. Cook runs onto it for the Warriors, and he's turned it over. He's kicked it straight back to Josh Mould at right half back. And, man, it's hard to see out there at the moment.
It's probably the best conditions all day, though. It's an amazing turnaround in the weather.
This is still perfect conditions for football, isn't it? So McGuinness has got it, goes inboard, finds Pizzuto inside the centre square. He's got Bucks there, ignores him, and he's turned it over. Poor kick there, he's kicked it straight to Napoleon White, who marks on the edge of the centre square, right on centre wing. 25 and a quarter played, final quarter. 13-12-90, Hoppers Crossing lead, Werribee District 7-11-53. Napoleon White finds Stranak, who wheels around on the left foot and looks for number 5, but hooks it too far. One behind, 38 points the margin, 13-13-91 to 7-11-53. Hoppers Crossing well in control as we are deep into time on of this final quarter. Now WRFL match of the day here on 88.9 and Win FM.
Gee, I wish I had some gloves right now, Willow. It's gotten a little bit cold.
My hands are nice and warm.
It's cold.
It's colder than it was.
Really?
Out of defence.
Put your jacket on.
The Tigers. I do, but it doesn't that doesn't keep my hands warm. Willow Dundon through the middle, kicks to Pizzuto, running forward of the play. He has plenty of room to run into. He's being pursued by Brown. He gets to 50, wobbles a kick towards the pocket. Lee's going to get there first. He gathers the football, turns his opponent inside out, might get the footy back from Shebeki. Shebeki from the pocket. That's a classy finish from the captain. Unfortunately for the Tigers, it has no effect on the game whatsoever. They're too far back, but he kicks the goal. Daniel Shebeki, his first, his fourth of the season, and it cuts the margin to 32 points. 8-11-59 the Tigers, the Warriors 13-13-91, but it does make a difference in percentage when they were north of 50 points down to only lose by maybe 4 or 5. It's an admirable effort in the end for the Tigers, and it can make all the difference come the end of the season, given how close it's likely to finish in that battle for 5th spot, which all of a sudden, after 2 straight losses, they're battling for Werribee Districts. Back in the middle, Sullivan and Armstrong Western barging through his kitchen. And he's been pinged for holding the ball. Shebeki, who kicked the goal, delivers up towards half forward. Pushed out of it there was Dundon. Warriors have the numbers in defence. Good effort there by Houlihan, but he's confronted by 2 Tigers who intercept the footy. Molovas kicks in the direction of Lee. It was knocked away. Comes back to Paddy. He can kick another one, and he does. It's back to 26 points. Jordan Paddy with his 3rd goal. And they've kicked the last 5 goals, Werribee Districts, to get it back within 26 points. And if that's an indication as to how far back they were, well, I don't know what is.
I don't know if he'd be pleased or frustrated with this run of goals, Chris Gillum. He would have been hoping that it came earlier in the game when it was still up for grabs. As Paddy struggles to come off the ground, I think he's injured himself in the process of kicking that goal. But look, it's good for their percentage and also for their mentality going into next week. But yeah, the question marks remain. Where was this earlier?
It is important for the percentage, though.
It is massive that for the... Probably disappointing both ways as the siren sounds to end the afternoon for Werribee Districts. They lose by 26 points, 13-13, 91 to 9-11, 65. They led it every quarter, did Hoppers Crossing. The 3 at quarter time, 39 at half time, and 42 at 3/4 time, and then but they lost the last quarter and they only ended up winning by 26 points in that final quarter. So a big win there for Hoppers Crossing, and interesting thoughts now for the top 5 in this competition now in Division 1 with that loss, and St Albans look like winning against Caroline Springs.
And first things first, I think it's a great win for Hoppers Crossing. I think we probably focused a little bit too much on Werribee's problems, but part of them was that Hoppers were just fantastic, and after finishing runners-up last year and having a bit of a dip mid-season, they've had 2 really good wins back-to-back. This is probably their best win for the season, and they are a serious factor in this competition yet again, as we